I don't even want to intro a bloody video. We've been beaten 2-1 at home to a West Ham side before today. 14 points in 21 games. 10 games without a win. 10 games without a win away from home. And we've been beaten at home by this sorry club, this sorry team, this absolute shambles of a team. It just goes to show where we are at the moment. We can't buy a win at home for absolute love nor money. Conor Gallagher making his debut couldn't save us. Nothing, it seems at the moment, can save us from this absolute shit show. There were protests before the game. Only 100 people turned up, or maybe the next one there'll be more, because this was absolute shambles today. How are we losing? This was such a massive game. Everyone was expecting a good performance, needed a good performance, or at least a win. Get the 3 points. Get 1 point. Get a point out of the game. We couldn't even do that. We couldn't even get a point out of this game. This is insane. The gap now between us and West Ham is 10 points. Now, that might sound like, can't even speak at the moment. I'm just so at a loss. That might sound like a decent gap. But you look at the games we've got coming up in February.
Yep.
You look up to next week, we've got Burnley. They're drawing at Anfield at the moment. Are we even going to win that game? We have got such a tough set of fixtures in February. I don't see us winning any of these games at the moment. We've just lost at home to West Ham. We drew at home to Wolves.
Mate, knowing us, we'll probably win these.
We drew at home to Wolves.
Mate, we're so Spursy, we'll probably do what we do in January and then rip it up and do good in February. You just don't rule anything out of this football club. But the whole thing is a mess.
We are.
I think Frank's job is untenable.
He has to go. He has to go.
It's untenable.
We'll get into Frank in a moment. Let's just talk about the game before we get into the manager situation, which is going to be a big topic of discussion.
Yep.
Start of the game. First 10 minutes, like we have, it seems, every single the last 6 or 7 games. Started with intent, pressed them high. Tell had an early chance. We're looking like on top of them. But it didn't last, did it? It didn't last at all for any length of time. It died out quite quickly, that pressure. West Ham grew into the game quite a lot in that first half. And Castellanos was getting some chances. Somerville was opening us up time and time again. And it was a very kind of worrying moment. And then, obviously, Somerville cuts inside, gets his goal deflection. Porro doesn't stop him. Gallagher doesn't stop him. There's no pressure on the ball, is there?
Nope.
Too easy for him to cut inside. And the goal goes in with a bit of luck. But you have to say, that really gave him a boost, didn't it? And it seemed to really deflate Tottenham at that point, because West Ham could have easily been 2 or 3 ahead in that first half. They were playing the game to perfection. They were really kind of Nunoing us, I would say. Like Somerville, Bowen were getting in on the wing time after time. You had set pieces. Castellanos missed an absolute gilt edge chance at the back post. You had Mavropanos with a header, which Vicario had to tip save. We did have one moment, which Odebear had a header, Areola saves, and Jed Spence. That should have been a goal, though, shouldn't it? That was also a gilt-edged chance.
Tell could have done it with his opportunity in Odebear earlier, when it was 0-0.
Yeah, as well. That was a good chance. We had a couple of nice good chances. I think the one from Odebear and Spence, that's a gilt-edged chance. That has to be a goal, doesn't it?
Yep.
But West Ham would argue they had about 4 or 5 in that first half. That should have been a goal. If it wasn't for them, again, not only some poor finish from West Ham, great goalkeeping from Vicario, and some last-ditch blocks from Van der Ven and Romero.
Yep.
It could have easily been 2 or 3. I think we were counting our lucky stars, weren't we, at half-time?
Correct.
That we weren't more behind than 1-0.
100% you're spot on. Again, like you said, Somerville was ripping us to shreds. Literally ripping us to shreds. We couldn't handle him.
Also midfield, like Gallagher was in, he was putting himself about, but we were getting opened up in that midfield in the middle.
We were. I mean, Conor Gallagher is his debut, isn't it? Come to him, plays full 90. Archie Gray was getting his body on the line. There's just no cohesion. There's just no togetherness. There's just no spirit or fight. How many London derbies have we had this season where, blame Frank a lot, and he's very, very culpable for this and a lot of the performances, the team for London derbies especially should be showing up and showing fight. We did it West Ham away, but I can't think of a single other one where we actually have turned up at a London derby. Of course, there's other games to talk about, but London derbies, when you join Tottenham Hotspur, you know how important London derbies are to this football club and to the fan base. And to not show up for any of them, and then you turn up again in the second half and show bits and glimmer, and then, we'll say, for Vicario's wonderful save in the first half, what was he doing for the
goal?
So we can all say thank God for that first half save, but 90 minutes you need to be switched on. A great block by Porro. You would have thought that was a point-saving challenge to get in the way. And from the resulting corner, West Ham just bullied us. Absolutely bullied us.
Well, we'll talk the first half, as we were saying, lucky to go in at 1-0. He does make a change at half-time, brings Basuma on.
Yep.
Surprisingly so. Also, by the way, Davis picked up what looks like a nasty injury in that first half. Hopefully he's doing all right. Second half, we bring on Basuma, which was a surprise to everyone because Basuma, out in the cold, he's not been fancied. He's been not. This is his first appearance of the season, isn't it, for Basuma? First appearance of the season for him. I thought he actually did all right when he came on in that second half, and I thought he added a bit more kind of steel. I thought Gray was doing some really good stuff on the ball and like ball carrying and dribbling, but off the ball he wasn't really at it. Like he was getting bypassed and he wasn't strong enough. Basuma just gave us a little bit of solidity in the middle, and I also thought he just allowed us a platform to really dominate West Ham in that second half. And him and Gallagher. Javi was buzzing around, obviously, and then the second half we just really were dominating them when it comes to just territory, penning them in. We were spamming crosses left, right, and centre into the box, and one of them Tell was taken off on 60. Quite surprisingly, I thought he was our best attacker. I didn't understand that decision from Thomas Frank to take off Matisse Tell. I thought he was the one looking most likely to make something happen. He brings on Solanke, puts him up front. And look, whatever you want to say about it, we did score within a minute. And Porro puts a cross in.
Great cross.
One of his. If I was to guess out how many crosses Porro put in today, how many do you reckon he put in? Off the top of your head.
6.
6.
Yeah.
24.
24 crosses he put in.
24.
Are you sure?
24. He put in 24 crosses. 6 of them successful.
I meant 6 times 4.
6 of them were successful. 24 crosses.
That's what I meant. 6 times 4.
How mad is that?
Mate, I can't remember 24 crosses.
24. He whipped that ball in 24 times. Only 6 of them. Were successful. Anyway,
there you go. There's my 6.
Yeah, see, there's your 6. So 24 crosses. One of them landed on our de facto striker these points, which was Cuti Romero. He absolutely batters it home.
Yeah, it's great header.
Tottenham at that point, you're thinking they got the momentum. They're going to be kind of on the front foot. Which, to be fair, we were, but it seemed as though our only plan was to spam these crosses in.
Yep.
That's all we had, to be honest. We didn't really have another way of attacking West Ham. We were spamming these crosses. Literally, the whole game plan was work the ball out wide to Porro and spam across, and that was the way we were trying to attack them. We had a couple of moments, half chances, it's fair to say. Xavi had a shot from the edge of the box, which Ariola saved. We had a penalty shout.
No, I think that one, yeah.
That, for me, I think West Ham got a big slice of luck there because Ollie Scholes definitely puts his hand towards the ball and takes the ball. Doesn't really take it away from Gallagher, actually puts it in his path, but either way, I think it's a handball. He clearly touches the ball with his hand, and I think it's a big slice of luck that the VAR doesn't look at that. Nothing comes of it. And to be honest, apart from a couple of half chances, what did we do for the last 25 minutes? Not much.
Same as huffing and puffing like we did against Villa. Huffing and puffing like we did against Sunderland in the first half. And like I said, a lot of people would say what our plan was with Kudus when he was fit was get the ball to Kudus, hit and hope.
Yeah.
We only have one person that can put crosses in, and that is Pedro Porro. And that's what we did. That's what we did. It's what we got. We haven't got the quality to keep. We just keep relying on Pedro Porro to be able to whip that ball in. Xavi drifts out to the left, but he looks a lot more busy and a lot more effective when he's central, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's just a lack of options, a lack of quality, a lack of... When was the last time Tottenham had two wingers that were on the pitch that could both put crosses in of great quality?
Lennon and Bale, probably. But
There you go.
I felt as well, we're obviously pushing for the winner. We bring on Bergval. We make a few changes, and then we're hoisting in long throws and whatever, trying to make something happen, trying to create a bit of chaos. Wasn't really happening. And then West Ham bring on Callum Wilson. They make a couple of changes. All of a sudden, they did change. They got like a bit of a second win right at the end of the game in stoppage time. Wilson shot after a misjudged header from Basuma. He has a shot which looks like it's goal bound in a really good position. Porro has to save our skin. And by the way, before we scored, Van de Ven had to save our skin as well. When Somerville was thrown goal
with a great tackle,
and he came flying in. So and that led to the goal. We then so Porro saves our skin, and then the resulting corner in the 93rd minute, Vicario they put the ball right under his crossbar. He's flapping. He's calling for a foul. Doesn't look like there's a foul in it in the replay. And Callum Wilson, I don't know if it's Callum Wilson or an own goal. They've given it to Wilson, so I'm guessing he gets a final touch. He buries it right on the goal line, and West Ham have themselves a last gasp winner at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Queuing embarrassment, more embarrassment for Spurs fans, for this club. At the moment, it's another Dr. Tottenham example yet again this season. And yet again in our history, we've been beaten by Nuno of all managers. How what do you call it? Ironic that Nuno could be the manager to get Frank sacked if that is the case. And it's look, we'll touch on Frank in just a sec, but the result is just an absolute nightmare, isn't it?
It is because of the London rivalry, because of where we are, what this game represented. It is an absolute catastrophe of epic proportions, this result. It's just...
No one really envisaged that we would lose this game.
No. Let's face it, and let's be serious for a minute. Our home form, apart from the first season with Conte, when we beat Arsenal and got the Champions League place, since we've moved to this stadium, our home form has been absolutely disgraceful. What was it? I think we might have matched it now. There was a stat going around. I can't have to remember what defeat. It may have been the Fulham one. That we were only 6 defeats behind what Arsenal have lost the entire time they've been at the Emirates. Mm-hmm. And they've been there since what, early 2000s?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably creeping up on that.
Mate, I don't know if that game levels it. I mean, the home form, regardless who the manager is, regardless who the squad is, regardless of the recruitment, the home form has been shambolic. At White Hart Lane, it was a fortress. At this stadium, it has been absolutely embarrassing.
So apparently after the game, this is all Sky Sports reporting, the booze died down before restarting again. The fans filling out by the press box are making their feelings known. Frank then makes his way to the tunnel, applauding as he goes. He's booed again, and there's another chorus of "sacked in the morning" from the Tottenham fans. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before.
No.
Our own fans singing "sacked in the morning."
It's the second time.
Second time, and now you've got a whole crowd.
Johnny Heitinger, our new manager.
And also to think as well, we've had a whole week. They hold a free week this week.
Yeah.
To, prepare for this game.
Yeah, Paulinho gets injured.
Paulinho got injured last minute, but we had a whole week to prepare for this game, and we've ended up with a defeat. And when it comes to the manager, when it comes to him, I think he has to go. I think we have to get an interim at this point. I think it is beyond bad. I think at this point we could be 15th with a defeat tomorrow. If Bournemouth get anything in their game, I don't know who they're playing, but if they win, they go above us. We're now 10 points away from West Ham, who are currently in 18th. Our Forest are playing Arsenal later. They have an opportunity to close the gap if they win their game. I think Thomas Frank has had more than enough time to show something at this football club that shows we're going in the right direction. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, there is just nowhere near enough I'm seeing on the pitch from what we do in possession to show me this guy has got any future at this football club. I think the fans haven't taken to him. I think the style of football is absolutely atrocious. It's spamming crosses. Let's be honest, we play like a lower league table side. That's our approach. It's not even mid-table at this point. It seems as though we play like a team who are battling relegation. That's like how we approach games. Stay strong defensively, get the ball out wide and cross the ball and try and get someone's head on it. It is basic, it is boring, it is stodgy, and I hate watching it. I can't stand it. I think the only time we look good is when we kind of throw caution to the wind when we're behind, when we're losing games, and we kind of just throw players forward and we try to make stuff happen. The players start to get into the better positions and we start to attack more because we've got nothing to lose. That's when we look at our best. When the game is at 0-0 and we're just starting out games, it is absolutely atrocious. There's no excuse for it. I'm not saying he's been here forever. He hasn't. He's only been here now 7 months, and in the grand scheme of things, 7 months isn't like ages, but it's not nothing either. There is enough time there to start imprinting your style of play on a team, to start showing how you want to approach games. And I think we've seen that this ain't going to improve. I think at this point, when you're losing these kind of games to a team like West Ham, their London derby, as I've said, haven't won in 10 games, have been just lost 3-0 away to a Wolves side who hadn't won away all season. That's where they're at the moment. And they're coming to our stadium, and we were lucky that we weren't 3-0 down at half-time, and we ended up with a defeat anyway. Maybe you could say that first half cost us, because the second half we dominated. I wouldn't say we played well, but we did dominate, and we were probably the better team in that second half. And we should have gone on to maybe get something out of the game, but you've only got yourself to blame when you have that first half, and when you don't really create enough good quality chances in that second half either. And he can have all the excuses he wants. This one's out, that one's out. I think the players on the pitch that we have more than enough to show more than what we're seeing at the moment. I know a lot of people will call me a hypocrite because last season I was back in Ange, this season I'm not. But I think it's a different situation. I think this season is not the same situation than I think. Although at the moment it's similar in the attacking talent, but I look at the talent we have on the pitch. We have players who should be able to influence games at a much better rate, and we have better players than West Ham have on the pitch. Conor Gallagher making his debut today didn't impact the game enough. I mean, there was flashes. There was times he was getting in the box, he was getting forward, but I'm not going to lay in on Conor Gallagher, but it wasn't the best display from him. The individuals have to be called out, but I actually thought Romero and Van de Ven had very good games today in general. Those two can hold their heads up high in terms of good performances. The forward line just weren't good enough at the end of the day. But I think at the end of the day, it comes down to the manager. I think all roads lead down to him. All evidence leads down to Frank isn't doing enough to get this team coached in a way, in possession, to hurt the opposition and think about how we can hurt them. And if he is doing that, then he's not very good at doing that because we're awful at it. We're not good on the ball. In the first half, we looked nervous. We looked like we were scared to pass the ball. Teammates are scared of each other. Again, it was better when we were 1-0 down and we threw caution to the wind and we had nothing to lose. But yet again, as soon as it goes to 1-1, it's almost like it reverts, doesn't it? It's almost like we're back. It's like all of a sudden, once we have something to lose, it's like we don't know what we're doing. The players look clueless. The manager, seems devoid of ideas, taking off our best attacker when Tell was showing the most, I thought, in that game, and he takes him off and he puts Xavi out wide and puts Moani up front, and I didn't like Xavi on the left. If he's going to do that, take Xavi off. I didn't want to take Xavi off, but if you're going to make that decision, keep Tell on and take Xavi off. Yep. And if you're going to put two up front, why put Xavi off the left and take Tell off? Tell looked pissed off with that decision as well. I think I've been kind of this season. I've made my feelings known about Frank throughout the whole season, but I've always been of the opinion, sack him now, and what does that achieve? Doesn't really change much. But I'm out of the opinion now. He has to go. I'm Frank out. We have to make a change. If it means an interim, it means an interim. I think someone else can get a better tune out of these players than what I'm seeing right now. And if it means getting into him till the summer, then we make a decision. If it means trying to come in Xavi or Hernandez or Xavi Alonso, throw the book at them and see if they'll come here, do something. But we need a change immediately. It is dire straits. We can't continue with this.
No, mate, like I said, his job is untenable. His job is untenable. It can't continue. And this is me saying it. What I will say, to push back on what you said, and I don't agree with, is just because you have better squad players means you're going to win the game. Last season, did we beat Leicester? Did we beat Everton? Did we beat Ipswich? Did we beat Tamworth in 90 minutes? Just because you got the better squad doesn't mean you win the game. But that doesn't excuse what's happening right now. I heavily banked Frank. I went above and beyond for this guy because I fully believe that this guy could do something. But it's showing that he cannot. He cannot. And I said it a few weeks ago that I can't back him as ferociously as I want. I can't back him in the slightest. I can't. There's nothing to say. I will say again, though, we're talking about at half-time the passing. We're having that debate whether with last season we played a lot more attack-minded this half. Again, the passing for a lot of periods was so sloppy. Just simple passes. There's no consequences for the actions of the players. There's no consequences for the action of what the manager is doing. It's not working. You look at the front line, like I said, I think Tell was our best forward till he went off. Mawani, as I said before this game, I would try and bring another striker in and send him back.
Yeah, I consider that.
I said to you, right, mate, Mateta, go and do what you can to get Mateta in. People saying, oh, he's overrated. He's doing a damn lot better than what Mawani is doing. Mawani hasn't offered a single thing domestically. He's putting some good performances. Well done for the team. Janssen scored goals. Not a lot, but he got on the end of things. This guy is like Janssen, held a Postiga. He's not playing with the intensity. Today he had, like you said, all these stats about West Ham and how poor they've been. You would have thought someone like Mawani would have been licking their lips today.
Yeah.
Been going, right, today's the day. Give me the ball. He did absolutely nothing once again. Nothing. His decision-making has been wrong. He's scared to take a shot. This loan has been a flop. Yes, it was an emergency for Solanke. And we're all happy that we got it done because last season, obviously, we wanted it and it went to Juve. But he has done nothing. Richarlison is out, who's been our only goal scorer, really in that position. Solanke is back. He's going to take time to get back up to speed, but hopefully he can get back in it. But Mawani has offered nothing. Nothing.
I think this should be his last game. I think as much as they had all these reports on Friday that they're backing him, they don't want to do anything drastic, they're staying calm. I think this has to be a big moment. This has to be a very telling moment for the board, and this has to be a crossroads. I think they are definitely at a crossroads right now about what club we want to be, and I don't think we can carry on like this. I really don't. I think this manager is, I don't know. I don't know if he's out of his depth or what it is, but he isn't right for this football club. It is not the right fit, and he has to go. He has to go. He's done. I'm done with him. I'm done with the football he plays. I'm done with these results. The home crowd have turned on him, and that is just not a tenable situation, is it? It's not.
I have to say, he hasn't helped himself with that. The football isn't good. The football isn't good. I thought it would be a lot better, as I've said openly. I thought it'd be a lot better. It hasn't been. But the way he's got at the fans, like I said, some of the things he actually says, I can stand by and understand where he's coming from. It's the way he's saying it, and after performances like this. But again, I'll go back to this. This is not just a Frank issue. We've seen it with multiple managers, Poch and Conte, Jose, AVB, you name it. This football club don't have a culture, don't have a vision, don't have a identity to what they can say all the things they want to, that they want to succeed on the football pitch and they're going to focus on the football pitch and bring in success. How many times have we heard it? How many times?
Actions speak louder than words.
Well, listen, Frank goes, and if he goes, he deserves it. Totally and utterly deserves it, but we'll be here again in 6 months later. We'll be here again in 6 months' time with whoever's in, and if it's an interim and then Poch or whoever comes back, we'll be there again. We'll be there again.
All right, well, that is it. We've lost 2-1 to a dreadful West Ham team. We are now 10 points away from the relegation zone. We've got games against Man City, Man United, Newcastle, Arsenal, and Liverpool coming up in our fixture list. This could get a lot worse before it gets better. We've got Burnley coming up, and on this evidence, I don't know if we win that game right now.
Is it away?
Game, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I mean, I'd rather it be away right now.
Mate, I'd rather we didn't play for a week or two. Oh, no, do you know what? Bring back an international break. We have an international break.
Yeah, is there one coming up?
No, not till March. Let's just force one in.
God, I could do with one.
Let's force one in.
Absolutely horrendous. We're now, what, 2 wins in 15?
Mate,
Premier League?
I don't care who you are. That is not acceptable.
2 wins in 15.
It's not acceptable. Doesn't matter who the manager is. Doesn't matter how much I wanted it to work. That stat there is simply unacceptable. And the worst thing about it is, during this run, he's kept going and going with the same thing that isn't working.
And we do the same things every game. There is no signs of any of this changing for the better. There really isn't. So I think most fans, I'm looking at now I mean, most fans have already turned on him, but I think a lot of people are like, okay, we'll sack him. Who do we bring in, kind of thing. I think we're beyond that. We're beyond that. We need to make a change. Just change it. Mason. I'll take Mason right now.
Don't be silly.
I'll take him.
Don't be silly.
I want Frank out, man.
Yeah, but don't be silly. Listen, I am as well now, but don't be silly. Don't be silly. He's just been relegated. Mate, see, this is where it gets a little bit silly, Sim. He's just been sacked by West Brom for being 18th. And you think what we should do when we've all complained and said blah, 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 you think that will show the winning culture of this football club, and that is a major problem. We sacked Frank, and what we're going to do, Mason is available, who flopped at West Bromwich Albion. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring him back to Tottenham Hotspur. If that's the way that we go, it will show these owners and this board for the charlatans and crooks that they are.
Maybe get Robbie Keane in.
Mate, Robbie Keane has shown something. Robbie Keane has shown something, but I don't think Robbie Keane comes for an interim position.
Throw all the money this club has at Xavi Alonso. Just do it.
Mate, we'll go to...
Empty the bank.
Oh, yeah, because...
Spend our transfer budget on Xavi Alonso, I swear to you. Just get him in. Do all you can.
So you've gone from Ryan Mason to throw everything at Xavi Alonso?
Just make a change. I can't keep watching this. I just can't. I can't do it to myself. It's not good for my mental health. I need a change. This can't be the Tottenham Hotspur that I support. It can't be. I won't allow it to be. To be honest, I think I've been too kind on Frank, to be honest. I've been hard on him, but I think I've been more than fair. I think I've given him enough time. He needs to go. He has to go. And I think he's a good guy. I think maybe in a different circumstance he could be a good manager, but it just ain't the right fit for this football club. He ain't right whatsoever. He doesn't even attempt to play like a big football team. He doesn't. He tries to play like a mid-table team, and he's failing at that as well. We're playing like a relegation standard team a lot of the time, and I hate watching it. Watching Tottenham games is a chore. I don't even enjoy them anymore. And I just want that back. I want some semblance of we're going to try and go at teams and create chances and do something. I want to see him getting the best out of these attackers. And at the moment, they just seem to be hamstrung. Our best attackers are Romero and Van der Ven. They're our best forwards.
Mate,
the most dangerous we look is when Romero goes up front because we've got nothing to lose. So he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to go in the box. And that's the best we ever look.
But also, like I said to you, mate, this is when I go on about the squad. Look at our front line to what previous managers have had. Look at it, seriously. We've gone from Kane's, Sheringham's, Klinsmann's, Berbatov's to Solanke, Richarlison and whatever Mawadi is. We've gone from Heung-min Son to Gareth Bales and David Janola's. And I go back and back. to Tells Odebears, we've gone from Andertons, Lennons, to Kudos. I'm just talking about the front line. That's recruitment. That's the ownership. You can't expect this football club to keep playing the entertaining football. Mate, all these managers have had that player that could get them out of jail. There's not one there. You'd hope Xavi Simons will be there with growth and maturity, getting used to the Premier League. Just look at that front line and what football players we have had watching this football club to what we've got. If we go back to even the Sheringham, Klinsmann, whatever days, Berbatov and Keane and Defoe, if I had said to you, go forward, the Spurs front line will consist of what we have, you'd have said, yeah, not a chance. Spurs always have one. Spurs always have a striker that will get them out of jail, a goal scorer or a creator that will do something. Not one.
I agree with that as well. I agree there's big problems in this squad and we need big moves from this board. I completely agree with that.
There we go.
But
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the first big move needs to be to get this manager out.
Well, they say it's easier to get the manager out than the team, isn't it?
That's still. Look at Man United. They've changed their manager. Brilliant performance today. Great win.
New manager bounce. Don't get me wrong, Michael Carrick.
New managers can get more out of players.
Michael Carrick played an absolute blinder today. First, I didn't get to see the second half. I was travelling, but the first half they were incredible.
Managers can get more out of players, and I'm certain there's more out of this squad that can be had. But look, that is your instant match reaction. I'm depressed. I am on my last legs for this football club. But now it's your chance to have your say. Am I right? Are the fans right? Does Frank need to go? I want to hear, you know what? I want to hear from people. I want to hear you call in if you still believe that Frank deserves time and you believe that Frank is the right guy and I'm being too harsh and we shouldn't sack him. I want to hear from you. I want to hear fans call in. And I want it because maybe I'm missing something that other people are noticing that actually this guy can turn it around. This guy is the right manager for Tottenham. I want to hear from those fans. So please do call in if you have that opinion. But, of course, this is your chance to have your say about the current situation. We've got some super chats, actually, before we start getting fans on. Let's read out these super chats. There's a lot of them been flooding in, a lot of opinions flying around, as always at this time. So, first one from Victor Randon. Frank will say it was a good performance, as always. Yeah, we'll wait and see on that. He said we played one of the last 6-7 games. I couldn't believe when he said that.
Doesn't help himself with that, does he?
No. Levy gone, all of Enoch next, says...
Please, God.
Frank, the worst manager I've ever seen at this club. Vicario is just piss weak in the air. Get him gone as well. Yeah, Vicario, mate, I think Kinski needs a run.
I was just about to say that exact thing.
Give Kinski a go, because
Vicario,
I think he's had enough chances, hasn't he?
I was just about to say, look, we saw Kinski in the Newcastle game and he made that error, but it was always going to be he was in for the Cups. But how many times... You saw the incredible Vicario and the calamity Vicario in each half, didn't you? The first half save, which was extraordinary. Yeah. Brilliant fingertip save for that header. Outstanding, and that's what he's brilliant at. But then how many times have we seen this with him at set pieces?
Yeah.
Or these brain farts.
He was bullied for that moment. It was awful.
And then he runs out complaining.
Yeah, it was not a foul. Easy Mode King. Bring in Alonso. If you look at our February fixtures, we may not win a game until March. Frank must go after this result. I would love to bring in Alonso. I just doubt he would come. El Said 747 says, not only Frank out, now I don't mind if Trump takes over Greenland as well. Michael Sweet says, poch. E.T. for Life says the last goal was on Romero limping back and Moani shocking all game.
Yep. I'm sort of saying yep about the Moani part.
You have to watch the Romero. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Because he had I think he took a big knock, didn't he, just before?
Yeah, but again, I hope people come in and talk about Moani as well. Because this has been an overwhelming flop. Flop.
Yeah, when I think we should think about signing someone and sending him back.
100%.
Michael Sweet says Gallagher and Basuma is a good combination. And looked a lot better in the second half, that's for sure.
I think it allowed Gallagher to get forward a bit more, didn't it? He was more coverage and deep lining in the first half, but with Basuma there, he was able to, and he was getting in the box a bit, didn't he? He was there for the penalty, or created for the penalty. I think he looked brighter in that second half because Basuma was there.
Scorpion fans for life. I was
Big
at
up.
the game. Awful, terrible. Frank out, please. Scorpion fans as well says, sorry, Brian, you got this wrong.
I have.
Frank out of
Correct.
depth.
Correct, I own it. I own it.
Malware says, if Frank doesn't get sacked, I swear he must have videos on Vinay on Epstein Island. Get him out. Big up, Dagan and Sim.
Big up.
Southeast Coys, Poch at his worst, 8th with Southampton and 6th with Chelsea, is better than Frank at his best, 9th with Brentford. Well, different circumstances, don't want to compare them. Harold the Viking, Enoch rejects them bids which sealed our fate. Enoch rejected them bids. Oh, he means there were big offers from Enoch. Scorpion fans for life's loudest sacked in the morning chant I've ever heard. Tin Man 007, Wolves battered this West Ham team. I know, it's absolutely embarrassing. Philly Alley, again, effed my refs. We did deserve to lose, but how is Frank not arguing for his life? Penalty shouts, second yellows for Hammers, defenders impeding Vicario. I think there definitely was some there was some decisions that we can be annoyed about. I agree with that, but I don't think that's the reason we lost. ET for life. The club is a mess top to bottom. They can't even get their optics right. Vinay waste. Paratici gone. Levy suffocated the team. Tell being signed mistake. Not good enough. All these cheap loan to buys.
Yeah, you look at it, like I said it when we spoke about the Gallagher thing. Semenyo had a release clause, and Manchester City took advantage of it and offered the money and obviously paid the wages. We've replaced Son with Odebear and Tell that cost more than Semenyo. You look at when we got Pedro Porro, we signed Carl Walker, had Kieran Trippier here, who again we abused with his overplaying him when he should have had a operation on his his groin, wasn't it? But then we went and bought, in order if I remember this correctly, after Trippier, who was there, we went and got who did we get? Well, we brought in Emerson. We brought in Doherty. We brought in, there's other players as well. Until Porro, we spent over twice the amount of money trying to replace Kyle Walker. And that's been a common theme with Dembele, Vertonghen. You go through it. The way we've just thrown money about, shortcuts and potential, this was always going to catch up with us. And unfortunately, it's caught up right now.
Has he had anything else? More
Serge Aurier, thank you. Thank you very much, Terry. Thank you.
Firat Franders says, this is the first time I want a manager gone. He represents nothing I love about football and our identity as a club. Spurs fix SG. The fact that I saw Vicario complain to the ref after the match is due to his incompetence irks me. LA Apprentice says, Xavi or bust, Enoch out, time for change. Frank heat map looks like a giant Krispy Kreme donut, nothing in the middle, and just spam crosses out wide. Oh, brother. Sunshine on Spurs. Frank continued the fracture in the fan base that started with Ange. Only someone like Alonso or Poch would reunite the fan base and the club. Thomas Frank out. Nenacho says, Brian, cut it out. Xavi, Kudus, Moani have showed on big stages they can change the game. The problem is Frank, he's out his depth. Stop lying.
I'm not, okay. See, this is what I get when silly super chats come in that don't listen to everything I said. I said half this squad is bag average. Did I say at one point every single player is crap? Did I say at any point every single player needs to leave? No. I said half this squad is bag average and they're not good enough. Xavi Simons, I believe, will be a very, very good player. Kudus, currently out injured, will be a very, very good player. But people like to cherry pick and pick the bits that they want to hear and forget the rest of it. Half this squad is not good enough and people need to realise it.
XKon player says, with all due respect to Brian, why did you think Frank was a good hire tactically? I was very underwhelmed by it, and his stats in previous stints showed.
No, this is it's a fair comment. I don't mind answering ones like that. I was very, very hopeful of him because I liked what he did at Brentford with such a low wage bill and players that he developed, like Mbeumo, Cunha, Tony, Konza, and other players that he had brought in and developed and did really, really well. They did play some very good football, and I thought, and he did show that he could tactically adapt to teams that he played against. But he's come to Tottenham, and I was hoping that he would enhance it, and with a better squad of players, more gifted players, be able to adapt what he's been able to do and say, right, now I can go for it full throttle and play it to a different brand of football, but still be tactical, flexible. And he hasn't done that. But it's a completely fair point. I was very, very pro Frank. I really did think he would get us playing the football that we wanted to see with the squad we had, but it's not happened.
Bear Lords says, why hasn't Frank been sacked yet? And shut up, Daigle. Get Alonso in, whatever it takes. He will attract the players from foreign leagues. Ryan Shubber says, Daigle's getting more heat than Frank. Chill, guys.
Big up, Reece, brother. No, listen, Reece, it's just the trolls that like to come on and talk nonsense. It's just pathetic. But
Scorpion fans says, Moani doesn't play for the shirt. Richie shows more. Guys, look, Daigle ain't the manager, all right?
No, let him do it. Let them act the tough guy. Let them act all big and tough. Let him do it.
All right, let's start getting fans on. Before that, Sammy, do you mind just switching those HDMIs over? Yeah. Just quickly, there you go. And there's another super chat from ET for Life says, you are absolutely right. Get they aren't good enough. Van der Ven and Romero are the only ones elite in the team. Moani did absolutely nothing. Xavi has potential in a possession team. I agree. I think that's part of the problem.
Because the squad's not good enough.
All right. Where is it not on Sky? Is it on TNT? Okay. All right. This is. I don't think we're going to get anything but misery in this game anyway. I don't even know what we want to win because Forest are closing the gap if they win. All right. Let's get Ben, who is in the car. He was at the game, and he can give us a lowdown on what happened at that stadium today. Ben, how are we doing? The darkness.
I just want to get something off my chest.
Sorry, one sec. The headphones are. You're outlined. One sec, mate. It's playing on the TV. One sec.
One sec, geezer, Ben. One sec.
All right. We go again. Ben, let's bring him on.
Go on, Ben, bro.
You want to get something off your chest?
I want to get something on my chest first and foremost. Daigle, you're running this club into the ground, mate. What the fuck are you doing? Seriously.
Mate, brother, it's all fucking me. It's absolutely me.
Daigle,
mate,
out.
That's it, brother. That's it. It's me. I'm a one-man wrecking machine. The squad's not good enough because of me. The manager's not good enough because of me. Recruitment's not good enough for me. Everything, mate. Sure. As everyone thinks, yeah. Play, bro.
Look. I'm hearing and I've heard it all before about the players not being good enough. And yeah, fine. The players might not be good. Are definitely not good enough for where we want to be. But I'll tell you what, they are good enough for. They're good enough for beating this fucking shit West Ham team at home. I'll tell you that for free. They are miles better than this West Ham team. So I'm telling you, this performance, however shit the players were today, and there are some players that put in disgusting performances today. The manager has got to go tonight, and I've had enough. I've had enough of sticking up for Frank all season. I've had enough of making excuses. I've had enough of seeing small little glimpses of positivity and trying to run with it. The manager is out of his depth. The manager needs to go. He's not fit to be a Tottenham Hotspur manager, and that's where it's at right now.
Correct.
Tell me what it was like. First of all, just touch on the protest. Did you go? Was there a lot of people there? What was going on before the game?
I was there. I think there was more people at Joshua's first birthday party than at the protest, to be honest. Seriously, I was really disappointed. People that were there, were there for a good cause, and all the usual suspects were there, but not many other people were there, to be honest. And it was a really poor. I don't even think there were about 100 people there. That's the honest truth of it. So
Ali
I'm sure
Gold
if
reported around 100, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, I saw Ali Gold there. I don't even think there was 100 people there. That's the honest truth. And it lasted about 10 minutes.
Oh, is that it?
It literally lasted about 10 minutes. It was I feel for the Change for Tottenham guys, because they put so much work in, so much hard work in and graft in over the years, particularly last season, and now trying to drum up interest for this season. And the fans are just not receptive to it. So I feel their pain massively. I wish there was a bigger turnout, but unfortunately it was really poor, really poor.
So inside the stadium, what was the atmosphere like before the game, during the game, after the game? Talk me through it.
Before the game, you know how it is. People on the concourse, songs are going. Start of the game, again, support for the team, and everyone's trying to back the team. But that first half, as the first half wore on, the football was just sucking the complete life out of the fan base, and loud boos at halftime, probably the loudest I've heard it. Second half, fans perked up a little bit as the performance got a little bit better. We scored the goal. It looked like we were potentially going to go on and score another one. But then as soon as that second goal went in for West Ham, the whole of the South Stand piped up in union saying he's getting sacked in the morning, and a lot louder and a lot longer for what we heard it against Aston Villa. I think the fans spoke tonight, and the fans spoke loud and clear, and for good reason as well. Massive boos at full time. And they booed Frank all the way from the centre circle, all the way to going into the dugout as well. And as soon as Frank got off the pitch, they started applauding Bissouma and a few other players that were coming over to the South Stand. So it was a clear message from the South Stand and the fans today that we want Frank out, and he's not the right manager for this football club.
Ben, you were talking about players that you thought put in a disgraceful performance today. Who are you talking about?
I thought Moani was absolute rubbish. I thought Javi Simmons was absolute rubbish. I thought Tell did nothing today. Archie Gray, I thought he got taken off at half-time, and probably rightly so. Porro, I mean, look, I can go through the whole team, to be honest. I thought every single one of them were complete rubbish. The only one I thought were putting in a bit of fight for the team was Bissouma. I thought Bissouma was probably our best player by the end of the game. He's been out of the cold, and you know what, for good reason, coming late to training, balloon gate and all that kind of stuff. But he came in and he showed he wanted to play for the shirt, and I think he put in a better performance in that second half than any Tottenham player did that started the game. So I got to give credit for Bissouma for the performance that he showed. But yeah, I mean, the players just look like they've just got no confidence, no energy to start games. They can only start performing when we're chasing a game. It's the same thing week in, week out. And I'm fed up of it, man. We've seen good performances from these players. We've seen it. They just can't start games like that because they don't have it in them. They don't believe in the tactics. They don't believe in what this manager is trying to do. So for me, it all comes down to the manager. You look at Manchester United. Let's look at Manchester United. We've been talking about, who can we bring in as interim? What's the point of sacking Frank? I've said that on a number of occasions. But Manchester United have sacked Amorim. They've got an interim in Michael Carrick, and straight away it's much, much better. They've played Manchester City off the park today, and they've won 2-0. They could have scored even more goals. They looked brilliant today, Manchester United.
They had 3 disallowed, didn't they?
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So the only answer here is the manager needs to go. Because if the manager doesn't go right now, we are going to get closer and closer to the relegation zone. And it might still happen. It might still happen if we bring in an interim. But if we don't, I think it's definitely going to happen. I genuinely believe we're just going to keep dropping and dropping. Burnley went up to Burnley draw 1-1 at Liverpool, Anfield, right?
Was it full time?
Yeah, they drew, and we got them next.
You know what I mean? I was talking to you, Sim, a few days ago saying, West Ham and Burnley, definite 6 points. Well, we've lost to West Ham. And I'm telling you, we ain't going up to Turf Moor and getting anything on this evidence. There is no chance. So if we lose to Burnley or even just draw against Burnley, we genuinely are in a relegation battle this season. Like, genuinely, with the fixtures that we've got coming up next. Like, this isn't a joke anymore.
No, it's not, Ben. For in all honesty, I think it needs to be done with a new guy in the on the touchline before the Borussia Dortmund game. Because this
The
kind
manager
of,
needs to go tonight, Brian. He needs
That's
to
what I'm
go
saying.
tonight.
That's what I'm saying.
There is no negotiations anymore. Like, literally, he's shown in this time he is not fit to be a Tottenham Hotspur manager. He has no sort of. He's got nothing. He's got nothing to what it takes to be a Spurs manager. I'm sorry, and I'm the one that backed him. Me and you, Brian, we were backing him. Obviously,
correct.
You maybe a bit more than me, but I still backed him massively. And
so maybe it's you that maybe it's all your fault, Ben. When you came on and said it was all my fault, maybe it's all your fault.
Yeah, look, I put my hands up. I got it completely wrong. This guy is not fit to be manager of this football club, and I cannot see there is any way of him turning it around. The players just look lost, and if we keep this manager till the end of the season, then God knows what happens in the summer with the likes of Mickey van der Ven and the players that we want to keep, because we're just a joke at the moment. We're an absolute joke.
Frank has said in a quote after the game, "I still think we are closer to turning it around than further away."
Shut up.
That's what he said.
So no, I'm not telling you to shut up. I'm not telling you to shut up, mate. You can't go.
Can you see where he's coming from?
You can't go you can't go 2 wins in 15 Premier League games and say I'm close to turning it around. You're not.
I don't care. Look, at the end of the day, right? We're in this position because we're in this position. We're in this position because of the way he sets us up and the way we play our football. We can't keep saying every single game, we were so close to turning it around. We were so close to staying in the FA Cup. We were so close to this. We were so close to that. Every game, we're chasing it. Every game, we look okay because we're chasing the game. How about play like that from the first minute and then see what can happen? You know what I mean? Like, the way we set up, the way we're starting games, the first halves that we're showing is literally the worst I've seen ever, properly, ever. You're looking on that football pitch and you're trying to take something. You're trying to look at something to take away and be like, you know what? Things are going to turn around. There's nothing. There's only so many black eyes that a man can take, man. Every time I watch Spurs play, it feels like I'm getting beaten up. Seriously, like in the last year and a half, at this stadium, I think I've seen more losses here than I've seen in the previous 5 years. It's crazy. The losses that we've taken to Leicester, to West Ham, to Wolves, to all these shit teams that are probably not even going to be in this league for long or are not in this league anymore. It's just like, I've had enough of it, seriously. I've had enough of this football club. I've had enough of the way this club is run. I've had enough of this manager. I've had enough of the majority of these players as well. But the only thing that can change in the short term is the manager. And hope for a new manager bounce and take us through and keep us up for the rest of the season. And then we assess things at the end of the season. But right now, all I know is the manager needs to go.
Johnny Heitinga will probably be it, won't he?
Interim.
Yeah, bring him in. Why not? He failed at Ajax, so he fits the bill.
One other thing to touch on, Conor Gallagher. We saw his debut today. Any thoughts on him?
Yeah, he put a few nice challenges in. That's about it. What can I say? Like, there is nothing on Football Merit that I can take any positivity from that. Nothing. Like, it was nice to see him. He got a nice ovation at the beginning of the game, but he was part of a shambles of a performance today. So I can't really talk about him in a positive light too much today.
One other question I want to ask for you: is it time to see Kinski start in goal? Because again, Vicario, brilliant first half save, the header, but the calamity and blaming everything apart from him at the corner. How many more mishaps are we going to have to deal with?
So I actually haven't seen it. I haven't seen the goal properly because it was obviously down the other end of the pitch. I haven't seen the replay. I heard he flapped at it, and is that just what it was? Really bad goalkeeping mistake.
Yeah, well, you had like Wilson backing into him, but he wasn't really fouling him, and Vicario should have been stronger.
The whole back
Vicario was saying, "Oh, he's holding onto my arm," but then you look at the replay, he wasn't holding onto his arm.
And they were the team were just bullied, weren't they?
Yeah,
they were just literally bullied. But with Vicario, do you reckon it's time now to say, right, Kinski, because it keeps happening, doesn't it?
To be honest, I think we got way bigger problems than Vicario. That's the honest truth. So. Yeah, look, Vicario might have made a mistake today from the corner, but Kinski could probably come in and he'll probably do even worse. So I think Vicario is a better goalkeeper than Kinski. I don't think Kinski's ready. I just think, we just need a new goalkeeper. That's the reality. I don't think Kinski's the answer, in my opinion. I don't think dropping Vicario for him is the answer. So I think we need to dip into the market and we need to bring in a proper keeper.
And on top of all things today, another Dr. Tottenham prescription given out. 10 games that'll win West Ham, and we've been beaten by them.
Yep.
Not only 10 games without a win, Sim. They haven't won an away game since the 31st of August. 31st of August, and we've just gone, you know what? Come to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We'll give you 3 points. Here you go. Easy does it. And first half, they were popping it around us like we made them actually look like a decent team today. Unbelievable.
Honestly.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing in that first half.
They're ripping us apart.
I know. I was sitting there with Mr. Box Office just in front of me.
Dear.
And I was watching that, and I was just like, can life get any worse right now? Seriously, like my head is like completely on Mars. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to feel. This club is going to be the absolute end of me, man, and I can't watch this shit anymore. I really can't. West Ham, this West Ham team, without their best player in Paquetá, their second best player, whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it.
Paquetá, yeah, fucking hell, you wasn't even playing.
Yep.
I forgot about
You
that.
know what I mean? And they're popping it around us like we're a Conference League side. And I tell you what, yeah, we're so lucky that we played Aston Villa in the third round of the FA Cup, because if we would have played Tamworth in the third round of the FA Cup, we would have lost. If we would have played Macclesfield, I'm telling you, we would have lost. This team and this manager, they don't gel. They don't have it in them. They don't have it in them to get any sort of result. It's madness. West Ham and Wolves at home we have lost to this season.
Do you think, as much as everyone's calling for him to go, Friday we had a bunch of reports, didn't we, that he's safe, they don't want to make any rash decisions. They even said this game isn't must-win for him. So do you think they'll keep him?
Well, we heard that about, apparently that was the PR for Nuno as well. They were saying, you know, this isn't do or die for Nuno, but it's going to test their bottle now. It's really going to test their bottle to see if they stick with their word. I don't think they will. I think they have to sack him. I think they don't have a choice anymore. I really do. Like, what choice can you have? If you're losing a game like this, we got Dortmund on Tuesday, we go up to Burnley, you know, maybe they give it to the Burnley game, and if you lose the Burnley game, but we need 3 points. 3 points is like, today was a must win. So Burnley is like, we need 6 points against Burnley, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, man.
Good luck with that.
They have to sack him, they have to.
Vinal going to hiding now that he's done his press release yesterday.
Yeah.
He'll go
exactly.
hiding, won't have anything to say. We'll just keep
He
the
can't
can
go
further down
hiding,
the
he
road.
needs to be drawing up that P45. That's what he needs to do right now.
Draw his own one up.
Yeah, he can draw his own one up as well, to be fair.
All right, well, there you have it. We'll see you in the studio tomorrow for more of this and absolute depression.
Yeah, and I tell you what, me and you and all three of us will turn up a lot more than this fucking team will do every week, and this manager will do.
Yep.
Absolutely right.
We'll
about
be
that.
there. We'll be there every week.
Ben, look forward to it, mate. You and me are doing Dortmund on Tuesday.
Well, at least we'll do it together.
Exactly, brother. Exactly.
Nice one. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you later.
Later, bro.
Oh, God. I am going to create a poll which people can add their player ratings to, because we're going to do these player ratings tomorrow. I can't pin it, can I? Okay, whatever. I'll just put it in the chat. There's a link in the chat there. If you want to put your player ratings, we're going to have a fan rating for tomorrow.
That's going to be...
Huh?
Oh, I mean...
They're going to be brutal, I can guarantee you. So we're going to have some ratings tomorrow, the player ratings. If you want to, there's a link I've just put in the chat. If you click it, you can put your own ratings, and that will contribute to the fan rating of the kind of an average of what all the fans give. And we'll look at that tomorrow. All right. Let's see what Kyriakou has to say for himself. Let's get him on.
What's up, Dan?
Danny.
How you doing, boys?
Being better, that's for sure.
On top of the world, brother. On top of the world.
I could tell Sim was really happy and Ben was ecstatic today, wasn't he?
Mate, there's
Never
nothing,
seen him so happy.
Mate, there's nothing to be... Honestly, there's nothing. There's nothing to be happy about. It's pathetic.
I mean, it is pathetic, right? I think everything's just a mess right now. I think it's just... Look, for me, I couldn't care less who the manager is. Like, I really couldn't care less. I think there's so many bigger problems at this football club than just the manager. I get like I'd actually never. Well, I think you know this, Brian, and Sim. I never wanted Frank in the first place. I never wanted him to join this club. You were the one, Brian, calling me every day, trying to bloody persuade me why he was a good manager.
I was.
But yeah, I look, when he did come into the club, right, I expected him to do better than what he's done. But I'll also say, to be fair to Frank, I don't think he's had the fairest chance, considering like there's so many factors that people want to just ignore. And I think that when you look at our attack today, right, it was just, it's shambolic. Like Xavi Simons, right, today he's like one of these players at the moment, and I know he's young, I know he's coming to the league for the first season, because I've been saying it all season, but it's just like a completely different player today. Like from what we saw in the second half against Villa, like he's so Jekyll and Hyde type of performance, the way he performs. And I don't know whether that is because of his age, whether he just needs to kind of mature a bit. There's probably elements to like the team is not doing well as well at the moment. But when you look at that team, I have no confidence, whoever the manager is, right, that they're going to get something out of those forwards that we have right now. Also considering the fact that we have got a lot of injuries. I know Solanke's just come back, but we've got, when you looked at the bench today, we had 0 wingers. 0. No proper creative player on the bench. Not one. Like, how do we expect to even change a game? We don't even have one creative player on the bench.
Should you need your bench in this kind of game against West Ham?
What's that, sorry?
Should you need your bench against West Ham?
I think you need a bench in any Premier League match, Sim.
Exactly.
It's the Premier League, man. This is not.
But we can't. Sorry, Danny. We were played off the park in that first half. That wasn't due to the bench.
Yeah, that was due to the play against him, right? There's an element of everything to it, but I've seen these players time and time again for years. This is not just under Frank. This is going back under Poch's days, even Poch's towards the end of his days, where players just weren't giving their effort. They weren't putting their all in, right? Yep. This is a fundamental problem, Sim, that's been going back nearly 7 years, right? And when you've got a team that is so used to losing in the last 2.5 years, the norm for this Tottenham squad is losing and the feeling of losing. So it's very hard to sustain a feeling of winning when you're not winning a lot, right? This is under 2 different managers with pretty much the same majority of players. And again, I know people don't want to hear it, but this is the first time in nearly 10 years where we haven't had Son and Kane to bail us out of anything, right? It's a big thing to transition from, right? It's a big thing. Look at Liverpool. Liverpool right now, they're not the same team they were last season, right? And if you look at the correlation between how Salah's not really played well this season and Van Dijk's not playing as well, and they don't have that kind of midfielder they had in previous seasons, right? It's clear to see why they're not performing at the levels they have been over the last few years, right? It's because their best players they're going through a transition period, and unfortunately, what Spurs have been doing, rather than going through a transition, we've kind of been going through a declining transition, like year in, year out, constantly. Mm-hmm. We're just getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. The squad is getting worse and worse and worse. And like, this is why, like, for me, I couldn't give a shit who the fucking manager is. I really couldn't care less.
Would you sack him?
Sim, I don't care if he gets sacked. I don't care if he stays.
You're the chairman. Do you sack him?
If I don't know, Sim, because where do we go? Where do we honestly? Are we really going to sit here and say Xabi Alonso or Xabi Hernandez or someone else of that ilk is going to come into this fucking disgrace of a football club right now, right? And take the realms and try and change the fortunes of this club when they sack a manager every 6 months?
Something has to change. Yeah,
but Alonso ain't coming here.
Forget Alonso. Something has to change,
right?
Danny.
Okay,
no, but you can see people say bring him in at all costs.
Yeah,
bring him in.
This is the thing. Yeah, exactly. Like, Sim,
it's not going to happen.
What I can't see right now is where we go if Frank is gone. That's why I don't care whether he's gone or not, because I'd be interested to see what the club do
where we go
if they sack him.
Well, no, I think the most important thing right now, which we haven't discussed, is we should all put a pick on what player comes out and says, I apologise, or we apologise, this isn't good enough, we're going to fix it, we grow from this.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? I'm going to be honest. I think this group of players that we have are a bunch of pussies. I think they're so weak-minded in professionalism, in terms of their stature, in terms of their physicality. They're just like a bunch of kids. They're a fucking bunch of babies, is what they are.
They practically are,
right?
though, Danny. The
squad practically is. They practically are. Yeah,
they stepped up and they won the trophy last season.
No, forget last season. Our players that helped us win that trophy, Sim, were all of the players that are injured and gone from this club, right? They're not here.
What do you mean? They play in the
final? The players that
in the final.
Like, let's not get into a fucking debate about who scored what last season, right? Because we know who scored the goals last season.
Wait. You're attacking these players for being spineless, for being all these kind
of
things.
They are spineless.
I'm saying they stepped up to win a trophy last season, so they can do it. They can step up in big moments.
And Sim, who was the ones who actually made the players win last season in that Europa League final, right? It was the players, because Ange was the one telling them to go and play gung-ho football, and the players were fucking managing him.
Why can't they do it now?
The players were managing him, not the other way round.
So why can't they do it now?
Sit there and say we can't sit there and say that it's the manager's fault. If the manager Sim was the one telling the players to go and play that way, we would have lost to Frankfurt in the quarter-final last season.
That's not what he said, but anyway.
It is, because Van de Ven said it himself.
This isn't a debate about Ange. I'm talking about the players now. We're talking about you're calling out these players. Do we have better players than West Ham?
I think West Ham
today did Crystal Palace have better players than Macclesfield?
Yeah, exactly.
They lost on the day.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't the Premier League, though, is it?
Sim, you're making yourself look more stupid by saying things like that.
What happens in the
Because
Premier League.
We're 15th in the league, Danny.
Do Manchester City have better players than Manchester United?
Yeah.
They just lost.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. That's such. It's a.
Where are Man City in the table, Brian?
No, but I'm saying. What I'm saying to you, Sim. What I'm saying to you is just because. No, what I'm saying to you is just because one team has better players doesn't mean they're going to win.
Yeah.
Does it mean they should be 15th?
No, that's a completely different argument.
That's what I'm talking about.
But that's
let me ask you a question.
Yeah, it is.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, it is.
Do we have better players than Wolves? Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, right?
Let's down to the manager.
Right. I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Today, our right winger, Odebear, who would you take, Odebear or Bowen as the right winger?
I'd take Bowen.
Who would you take as the striker, Muani or the guy who played today?
Probably Muani.
The guy who scored 0 goals, right? And the guy who's just come into the club who looked like...
Muani, who plays in the World Cup squad for France. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not have that... Let's not have that debate.
No, Danny, have you heard of Castellanos?
Let me say my point.
Have you heard of Castellanos before you signed?
Stop crying and let me say my point.
I'm telling you...
Can I say my point? Or are you going to cry still?
Oh, for fuck's sake, get him off.
Let's not talk about international players, because nowadays anyone can be a fucking international player.
France,
the level of footballers are so shit.
For France,
right? Anyone can be an international player these days, right? For France, the guy obviously likes Muani.
Why?
He obviously likes it, but
why?
Who knows?
Because he's a good player.
It beats me. I don't know why he likes him. He can't do anything in front of goal.
Have you heard of Castellanos before he signed for West Ham?
No idea who he was.
Right, so you're now he's better than a guy who plays for France.
Okay, what about Somerville then? Right, Somerville.
Would you take
Somerville over Tell?
Yes,
probably.
I think they're pretty even.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, today, this is what I'm saying, Sim. We're comparing West Ham's attack to ours, and we're having an argument about who's better than who. This is West Ham we're talking about, right? In previous seasons, we never would have this debate.
Why are you just talking about the attack? The rest of the team blows them away.
All right, can I just say one thing quickly? Right. We go back to, I said it before and I said it again. I'm looking at it now. Personal insults, you're all getting timed out. Footballing opinion, fine. Come for people that come on the show when you sit behind your screens giving it the big un. Or people getting personal and not debating the footballing opinion, you're getting timed out as of now. So let's start this.
I'll look at the comments.
Yeah,
no, I will do, because it's unacceptable. I've said it before, I'll say it again. They've got a divine right to come on here and get abusive with people, but don't show themselves on camera, and enough is enough.
Go on,
anyway,
Danny, what are you saying?
So what I'm saying is, Sim, is that we've had these players. It's like a habit, right? It's like a bad habit. At the moment, Tottenham's bad habit is losing a lot and not performing at a level that is deemed acceptable for Tottenham, right? I don't care who the fuck the manager is. Those players should be giving 100% every time you walk out onto that pitch, and they're not, right? And and you can tell me, tell me a manager can change that, right? They might give him a new manager bounce, right? But I'm telling you, I will bet money. I'll make a bet with you if you really want to. If Thomas Frank is sacked, the new manager will get a tune out of them for a few games, and then we'll revert back to the norm, which is losing more often than not, or having bad performances like that today, right? Because these players, they have nothing to fight for. They don't want to fight for the club. They don't want to fight for the badge. There's no accountability for the players, right? Because do you know why, Sim? Because when those players play badly, who's going to take their positions? No one. Because the players that are usually picked are the ones who let's deem it as the slightly better players that we have in the squad, right? There's no one fighting for their position. So they're like, okay, then we play bad. We might turn up when we go a goal down. Let's just try a bit more. Let's have a bit more freedom, right? Again, it happened again today. As soon as we go 1-0 down, and the second half comes out, we start playing a little bit more freedom. And then, like you said, Sim, earlier on, as soon as we conceded a goal, they just stopped again. Why is that? That's a mentality problem.
That's a
right?
coaching problem.
That's not a coach.
It
Sim,
is a coaching problem.
happening. This was also happening years gone by, Sim. It's been Conte said it himself. Nuno was saying it. They've all been saying. All the managers said it.
But who's still here from Conte?
But that's not what he's saying. It's the culture of this football club.
It's a culture, mate.
This has been a consistent running thing.
Yeah, this is deemed acceptable culture.
And what makes you think Frank is the right guy to instill a culture in this club?
I never said that he was.
So why are you saying you don't want him sacked? So why don't you want him sacked?
Sim, it's not that. I said I don't care who the manager is.
But Danny, we're talking about Frank. We're talking about Frank now.
I couldn't give a fuck if he's sacked or not.
Do you want him sacked though?
Sim, I don't care.
Why won't you say? I don't understand.
Because I don't care.
We have to have a manager, don't we? We have to decide who the manager is. So
I don't care who the manager is. I don't care. I don't care.
History keeps repeating itself.
Why don't you care?
History keeps repeating itself.
Why? Because it's the same shit that happens every year. It's the same. After Conte got sacked, I said I'd stopped caring about who the manager is because
you were going very hard on getting Ange out.
No, I wasn't. What are you talking about?
You were calling in every week saying Ange out.
No, I didn't, Sim. That's a lie.
Yes, you did.
Let's go. We'll get the videos up because I'm going to call you out on a fucking lie like you like to lie all the time. You love lying, Sim. You love lying, mate. You love lying. And I love proving you wrong because you get it wrong all the time.
You never do.
Yeah, I do. All the time, mate. All the time.
You never do.
Because you're delusional, Sim. See, you say things. When it just to try and suit your narrative, right? The thing is, I was one of the ones, Sim, who was saying I wanted Ange to stay this season to give him a chance because I thought he deserved a chance.
Okay, but here's the point. Okay, forget about.
We discussed this last week on your fucking show.
Here's the point, Danny. We have to have
Stop lying.
Okay, we have to have a manager.
Yes.
We have to have a manager who's right for this football club. Yes.
Yeah.
What makes you think Frank could be that guy?
I don't think he is, Sim.
So why would you say you want him sacked?
Because to me, Sim, I see no plan regardless if he's sacked or not. Which is why I don't care.
Okay, but that's regardless of the point.
Right.
Should Frank be our manager?
I don't know and I don't care. Like
You just said you don't think he should be, but you don't think we should sack him. That makes no sense.
Sim, you're not listening, right?
I'm listening.
Couldn't care less who the fucking manager is at Tottenham Hotspur because whoever we bring in, it's not going to work. No manager is going to work at this football club until the board decide to show action and actually do what they say they want to do. And if they don't do that,
were you happy with Gallagher or not?
I was happy with Gallagher.
And
what
happened today? He didn't play well, did he? Or what happened?
It's his first game, Sim. Is that what you're going to base one player's Spurs career on, right? On what happened today on the pitch? Is that how we're going to do it now?
Game.
Because Spurs fans like yourself, Sim, Spurs fans like yourself are so reactionary, right? And you flip flop like this every 2 seconds. Right?
Wait. When have I ever flip-flopped?
Flip-flop every 2 seconds. 1 minute, sack the manager, back the manager, sack the manager, back the manager. This is what you do. This is what you do.
What have I flip-flopped on?
Because Sim, wait until I'll tell you what. I'm gonna
Tell me, what have I
mark this
flip-flopped
stream
on?
today, right?
What have I
I'm gonna.
flip-flopped
I'll tell you what, right? I'm gonna mark this stream today,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna wait and see what happens. Because if the manager gets sacked, I'm gonna wait and see what you say, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, we're gonna back the manager, back this," and then as soon as it starts, nothing changes because the fundamental problem is the culture and the fucking players that we have who are just dross, right? You're gonna start turning on the manager again. That's what you're gonna do. Guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Let me just say so. We're with Danny where he's saying about, I am Frank out now. I will say I want him gone. And this is me of all people saying it. But what I'm getting with what Danny's saying as well, when he said it doesn't matter who comes in with the plan, you look at it, and I'm just going to use this window as an example. We sell Brennan Johnson immediately. Whether you think that was the right decision or not,
Yeah.
to sell him, to pay us on the first day or not start, but whatever, you would have thought selling him, Spurs have a plan to bring in a right winger if they're getting rid of him. Then Kudus gets injured.
Yep.
And you'd have thought, right, there's an urgency to act. We've got a deficit there. And they don't. So right now, we've heard Spurs have had these meetings about Frank and the board are split 50-50. How there is surely Charrington, who's a non-executive director, can be that vote to say, right, this is where it is or whatever. But if Spurs do pull the trigger, and I believe they do need to pull the trigger, is there genuine a plan of who to come in? Have they had talks saying, right, if we do this, are
no
you
plan.
because they need to do
No, I agree with that.
they need to do this, like when we sacked Ramos and brought in Redknapp, like when we sacked wrongly Pochettino and brought in Mourinho. That was done. Can you say?
I'll tell you what,
I
Sim.
have no
Sim,
love for this board. I have no love for this board.
I'll do this for you, right? If they sack Frank and bring in Redknapp, I'm all for it. Give me Harry Redknapp. I'd take Harry Redknapp to the end of the season.
Mate,
And he said he'll do it for free. He said he'll do it for free, didn't he? He said any team that wants me, I'll do it for free. So if that's true, mate, I'd take Harry Redknapp all day long.
Mate,
I
the
think
guy,
you need.
he's approaching 80 years old, mate. He'll be
I
travelling
know.
for. Let him have his
Do you know
time
what?
with
Do you know
Sandra.
what, Brian? Do you know what? As horrible as it is, I think Spurs could cause him some serious health problems if he comes back to this club.
He needed heart surgery when he was with us last time.
I know he did.
You want to do that to him?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't want to send
Mate,
him
I'll
over
tell
the
you what.
edge.
Go bring Martin Yol back. The biggest FU to Enid. Go bring my man Martin Yol back.
Yeah, I'll take any one of those managers back right now. Look, like in all seriousness, I'd never thought Frank was going to be the guy to take this club forward. I thought he'd be the guy to stabilise the club, but unfortunately, it's not just that he's not doing as good as he can do. I think that unfortunately we've actually have got a worse off squad right now. Considering the amount of injuries we've had this season, the players we've got available, it's just nothing is going his way, and I think. I hear what you guys are saying about sacking him, and look, fair enough. If he gets sacked, fine, so be it. But to me, I've got no faith in this club of what's next. That's why I said, look, Ryan Mason in, bring him in. I said it last week on your show, and I've been saying it for the last few weeks. I couldn't care less. I really couldn't care less because I feel sorry for whichever manager comes into this football club and has to try and manage this absolute shit show that we are because. Yes, it's a sad state of affairs. I mean, again, the performance today, like it's exactly what I've seen over the last like 4 or 5 years in different ways and under different managers. It's the same thing. Like, and we've had different squads as well. Like the players don't want to play. The players moan about the manager. They moan about the training. Then the manager gets sacked. Then they come in. There's a little bit of a bounce, and the same thing happens again. Then they buy loads of players, or they get rid of a few players. The same thing happens again. It's just the same over and over and over and over, regurgitated bullshit. And that doesn't change until the board finally decide to change or sell up. That's it. So they've got to do one of two things, right? Because they've only got two options. Well, it's either they're going to sell up, they're going to keep just doing the same thing that Levy did and how he ran the club for 25 years, or they're actually going to do what they've been saying, what Vinay said in his bloody statement today, and actually try and back the club. But look, I don't know where we go from here, to be honest. Like, who cares if Frank goes or not? I think most fans would probably want to see him. Most fans want him gone. So be it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because. Yeah, like if they sack him tonight, what do you think happens to him? But today, if they sack him tonight or tomorrow morning, who do you think they bring in? Do you think it will be Heitinga temporarily?
Probably.
This is where we go.
Interim.
We go from an actual Premier League manager to someone who is just not even a manager. It's just That's the state of our club right now. If that happens.
Danny, good to chat to
Anyway.
you, bro. Always
Danny,
good to see
brother, I'll call you when I'm home. Which will
Alright,
probably
man.
be about 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, enjoy the show, boys.
Speak to you soon,
you
bro.
later.
Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, bro.
All right.
Right, if I get Nate on, like I said again, can the chat just calm down with the personal insults? Disagree with football opinions, fine. Just don't get personal. It's really not needed. We all love Tottenham. Just debate football, not get personal, whether it be me, Sim, guests, or whatever it may be. It's really not worth it, and it's really uncalled for and really disrespectful. Sorry about that, Sim.
That's all right. As I think I echo those words for sure. Nate, let's get him on.
Big up,
Good
bro.
to see you, Nate.
What's up, guys?
It's been quite a day.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me where you're at the moment. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it might not be popular, but I think we should give Frank more time. No, I'm kidding, bro. Hell no. Hell no. Frank gotta go. No, like, honestly.
No, joking. That was
like,
the most awkward pause I think I've ever had in this
Yeah.
channel.
No,
God.
like, honestly, your conversation with Danny cheered me up a lot. Like, that was super entertaining. But all jokes aside, I've never called for a manager's head, like, publicly, like, probably like to get him out.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the first I'm gonna do it. Like, Frank has got to go, like, yesterday. All right, like, the 2 games that really, like, almost put me, like, emotionally checked out was Chelsea and Arsenal, because I've never ever seen Spurs perform that bad since I've been watching them. Like, that got me, like, emotionally checked out from Frank, and I was just like, okay, I don't care anymore. But after these run of performances that have been going on, and I'm pretty sure this run that we've been on since like maybe the Liverpool game. Mm-hmm. After that game, I think this was supposed to be like the easiest run of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
We've had Brentford, Sunderland, Bournemouth, and now West Ham.
Yeah, and
then
like
Burnley.
I know people always
Burnley
do
tomorrow, yeah. Next game.
Burnley, yeah, and people always do those things on Twitter, like, oh, how many points are we supposed to get out of this run of fixtures? We've won what, two games, if I'm not mistaken, Palace and the Brentford game.
Yeah, we've won 2 in our last 14.
15, wasn't
15
it, today?
now, I think. 2 in our last 15.
Yeah, so if we're a big club, I'm seeing Chelsea sacking their manager. I'm seeing United sacking their manager for way less. Mm-hmm. Why is Frank still here? It's gotten so bad to the point where I'm calling for Donald Trump to come and invade us like Maduro did.
Oh, Jesus
How treated
Christ.
Maduro? Like, honestly, like, just come in, take Enoch out for crimes against football, crimes against Tottenham Hotspur. I don't know. But I agree with what Danny was saying in terms of it doesn't matter which manager comes in, because there's something larger here that is going on at Spurs, and it starts from the top. What is the philosophy? We keep going from the Contes to the Mourinhos to the Anges, now to the Franks. There's no structure of philosophy. Brighton has their model of whatever it is. Barcelona has their model. Madrid. All these teams have their idea of what type of football they want to play. Spurs, we don't. We just go with the wind. We're flying around, and it's changing every single season, changing from manager to manager, expecting things to be different, and it never changes. It never changes. Then we're expected as fans to have patience. Just give it time. We're expected, just give the manager time. It's only been half a season. It's only been 20 games. We're expected to give the manager time again and again. For what? For what? And I'm all for giving managers time. Mm-hmm. But it has to be earned. Okay? Again, I say this every single time I'm on. What is this guy's philosophy? I don't know. And the defensive structure was there initially. Now the defense is gone. We concede so easily. We got our goalkeeper flapping at stuff. We're conceding countless times from the top of the box of goals that you've seen this happen again and again all season. Frank is all about these, low XG stuff. He doesn't defend the edge of the box. He doesn't care about that. He's made that known. But the same goal keeps going in game after game after game. So I have yet to see a philosophy. I've yet to see a reason why he should be given more time. Besides, it's only been half a season. It's only been a couple games. Give him time. He needs it. He can turn things around like Arteta did. Last time I checked, and I know they're probably about to go and do it, but Arteta hasn't won fuck all. Sorry for my language, besides the FA Cup. But what Spurs need from top to bottom. The top needs to set their philosophy. What type of football do you want to play? Then you get managers that can do that, and you get managers that can, well, tweak when needed, but you have your philosophy as a club. And then from there, no matter which players you sign, they'll be towards the philosophy of the club. So it doesn't matter if the manager goes, the players will know the philosophy no matter what. And that's how you build a culture. That's what Danny was talking about, the culture. That's how you build it. It starts from the top to have the philosophy. And we don't have that. So now, even if we sack Frank, Poch, Xavi Hernandez, Glasner, it's not going to change until we actually decide what we want to be as a club.
Nate, you're spot on. And I've said this has been an issue for a long time in this football club. We've gone from AVB, pragmatic, defensive, to Poch, free-flowing, going forward, to Jose Mourinho, defensive, to... This has been a long-standing thing. And when you keep changing the philosophies of the style of play, you're going to have players that aren't conducive to the new manager's kind of way of playing. You look at Arne Slot, goes into Liverpool, may not have wanted all those players, but all those players played attacking front football, which is what Arne Slot does. So he comes in, he may not have, I might want to get this one out or whatever, but he's got the nucleus of a team that can play the style of football, the brand of football, without too much hassle. We keep going back and forth, keep signing more youngsters, and not just signing youngsters to say, right, you're going to learn under these players and you're going to get stronger and stronger and then you're going to be the one. It's we'll buy younger players, we'll get a different manager in, and we'll expect this manager to go in and turn them into superstars like what Dele Alli did with Poch, even though he had quality around him, and you get found out. And we are right there now. We are being found out from chopping and changing, for not backing the right managers at the right time with the players they want. If you look, if anyone would tell me Jose Mourinho said, you know what, go get me Matt Doherty, go get me Joe Rodon. If anyone had said to Conte, yeah, go get me Clement Longley, go get me Basuma who he didn't want, Spencer who he didn't want. With Ange, even with Ange, go get me Odebear and Tell. He wouldn't have said these things. But we keep going, oh, they're youngsters, they'll grow into this. And they don't. And now we are paying the price for years and years and years of what's been happening.
Yeah, and there is a big problem though within this club and the fan base as well, because we also have the tendency to also put so much pressure when we actually should be backing the right managers as well, and we create this internal toxic feeling around the entire club when sometimes it's not even needed. Sometimes it is warranted, yes, but there's so much problems here. Like even like now Basuma did fantastic this game. I thought Basuma was excellent. But let's just rewind like 3-4 months. Every single one of us was calling for Basuma to be sold. We were calling for him to be sold. We would have been happy with him being sold. But now, because he's been out for a couple months, oh my gosh, he's back again. Thank God he's going to be our savior. It's the same thing when we miss Solanke. There was times last season we said, yo, I don't know if Solanke's good enough. He works really hard, but he doesn't really score that many goals. He can't really score from outside the box. He's not a proper striker like that. He only scores from he takes too long to shoot. But now Solanke goes away for a long time, and now Solanke comes back and Solanke's going to save us too. There's a huge problem with us as a fan base as well, and I'm not claiming to know everything. Far from that at all. But we as fans as well also put so much stress and pressure, and rightfully so, we should put pressure on the board. We have to direct our pressure where it's needed and in unison. But I guess it's just football fans as a whole, we're so short-sighted. We're so extremely short-sighted. And when there is times to back the manager, we don't do it. And then when there's times to sack the manager, we have some that want to do it and some that don't. And there's just a greater problem here within Spurs. And the reality is, though, it starts, as we all know, from the top. But, I mean, just to speak on the game a little bit, again, we shouldn't be needing these second half charges and urges to really win these games. We lost the game in the first half. If we would have played how we did in the second half, we would have won the game. And even the second half, it was only for about, 25, 30 minutes? It's just not enough. And the standard is way too low. And where we're at now, for Frank not to be able to rally the players enough to actually start proper, it's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. And like I said, some of this is also on the players as well. There's so many things going on here at Spurs, but I can't lie. This Frank guy, man, he makes me not want to watch Spurs. Like, it's so boring. It's so dreadful. And even, do you want to say something, Brian, or you wanna?
No, you finish, bro. You finish.
No. Yeah, no, like I just listen. At the end of the day, winning is the most important. But I don't see why we can't play good football and win. I don't
No.
see why that's not possible.
No, what I will say to that as well, and I completely agree with you on it, but what is really getting to me with Frank, personally, is forget the style of football. Okay, just take that to the side at the moment.
Yeah.
After these lackluster, dull, gutless performances, it's what he comes out and addresses the fans at afterwards. I think he's watching or seeing something complete. If he'd come out and said, "Do you know what, this isn't acceptable. We're going to work hard to get this right. This is not good enough. This isn't what I want us to be," you'd be like, okay, he's taking some accountability. He's owning up to the errors, and he can see it. But to come out and say, "I think we're close to turning this round," or to say, "I think we're getting better and we had these moments," that when the fans are fuming, and rightfully so, to then turn around and say, "Oh, do you know what? I think we're getting better." You're not. He's not helping. No. He hasn't helped himself at all. Like I said, the football needs to be better. It needs to. Mate, I was back in the day watching Christian Gross's football. I've seen some bad football during my time with a Spurs fan. But managers take accountability. And when he comes out, forget the pre-match press conferences, because you could give it all the hype and say, yeah, because the game hasn't played, and you can have all the intent in the world to be out and attacking. But to see a game like today and say, "Yeah, do you know what? I think we're on the verge of turning it around," we're nowhere near turning it around.
Yeah. And, like, listen, like, I just hate to do it, but, like we said, like, I think the one thing that Ange had was, like, he was such a good salesman. He was such a good speaker, so he could just captivate everyone whenever he spoke. And when you actually look at things on the grander scale now where we're at, what did we sack Ange for? Like, what did we sack him for? We ended up at the exact same spot again, after we just had this glorious time of winning a trophy. And I know the 17th thing is unacceptable, and it's definitely the furthest thing from that. But there's so much context around that as well. And based on where we're at right now, we're on pace to do the exact same thing. Except this time, we don't have a Carabao Cup, we don't have Europa League, we don't have the FA Cup. So, again, I just don't know who specifically is making these shots or calling these shots at the top. And it's a shame. Like, the protests, no one turned up for it. So seeing that as well is just, it almost makes, you can't take us seriously then if no one's going to show up for the protests either. And I think Change for Tottenham, they're doing fantastic things, but it's tough for people like me and the other international fans, because I would love to fly out there if I could afford it and stuff like that. I would love to be there. If there's a way that we could figure out how to get the international fans involved, whether it's some Zoom type of thing, or like we have like a screen where you have all the internet, I don't know, whatever it is, but we have to rally together as fans. We have to be together on this so we can actually call for the right people to make the proper decisions. And this is just unacceptable.
On that note, on that discussion, I'll talk to you when I'm back in Canada, because I had a few people were working for something on North America to target, so I'll bring you into the loop. To get the North American fans and other fans that can't get there, I personally was working on something. Had already spoken to Change for Tottenham about it, but there needs to be something that the international fan base can do. Obviously, they can't get here because of the logistics and the cost, but there is things that can be done. So I will have a real detailed chat with you when I get back.
Yeah, let's do it, because
when it comes to the change, when you know, are you just happy for an interim to come in? Do we need to have someone in place for you to make that change? Like, how do you feel on that in terms of the manager?
I think what it's got to be is, like, we can't keep Frank. Like, if we have any sort of standards as a club, Frank's got to go. And it sucks because we have to do it in the middle of a transfer window. That's going to hurt our ability to attract players. Maybe you just wait till the end of January, see what you can bring in, use Frank as a little dang on the carrot and see what happens. And then you just sack him after that. But I think we have to put in an intern for now. I don't think we should hire anyone permanent, because to hire someone right now in all this madness could lead to another improper decision. And then you have an intern for now. You wait till after the World Cup, where loads of managers will be available, and then you do a proper interview and you pick who you want. Poch will be there, so many other people. So I would say just bring an intern for now. It worked for United today. They played City off the pitch, unfortunately, and we go again in the summer. We do it again.
Nate, if it was to be an interim, let's just say it happens and we're looking for an interim. Realistically, and I'm emphasising that word realistically, who would your choice be? And people in the chat, and again, the realistic.
I mean, I know that Cochrane is rated highly in England. Could give him a go. He's known for developing the youth players. I think he did it for Spurs. I think he did it for England as well. Could give him a go. You could also give the new guy that we just hired as well from the Liverpool. I think Liverpool fans rated him highly. Yeah, could give him a go too. I think they're like pretty distraught to lose him. At this point, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We just need someone who can just bring us up a little bit more, put us on a little bit of a charge, get some wins for now, just hold us steady. Because right now we're free falling, and we gotta stop that. But yeah, I'd give Cochrane or the what's his name again? Heitinga, yes, I'd give him a go. I'd give him a go or Cochrane. That's what I would do.
Nate, good to see you, mate. Thanks for calling in.
Big up, Nate, bro.
I'll chat to you in a bit.
Speak soon. So realistically, if it was to happen, and again realistically, who would you say?
I think Nate makes probably put Heitinger. I think give him a few games, see what he can do. I know he failed at Ajax, so that's not great. But I think he'd at least try. Look, he comes from an Ajax background. Maybe he can try and get us playing some good football. Obviously, he's not a long-term solution, but maybe install him because I think Frank at the moment they're just not having him. I don't think. I'm just reading reports now that apparently Frank and Romero for a large part of the last 10 minutes were embroiled in a lot of arguments apparently on the touchline, which obviously is not a good look either.
The sooner Spurs as a football club realise that there is a major issue with the manager, the fans have completely turned. People like myself and Ben, who were his biggest advocates, or two of the biggest advocates, he's lost us. The football has been dire. The sooner this football club, like Nate said and other people said, big football clubs don't stand for it. Big football clubs will make the change and say, right, this ain't right. Stop the rot or whatever it may be. And they do it. Like you said, Chelsea have brought in Rosinha. Rosinha's what, 2 for 2? Yes, it was Charlton and Brentford today.
Yeah.
Of course, the filth in the Carabao Cup. But you can see fight and passion in that game, couldn't you? 3-2. I can't see at this football club, like we said, when we've heard the meetings that the board has split. Surely, as a board, you have an odd number.
That's also not good.
That's what I'm saying. You have an odd number.
Yeah.
Because if you're 50-50,
maybe they made a decision that it needs to be unanimous or something.
Yeah, but if it's 50-50, who is making that?
Cool. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, who is the one?
That's also that's a big problem I have right now with the structure. It's like, at least when Levy was there, he's the one making the call.
Yeah.
If you have a complaint,
Agreed.
It's him. You know what I mean? He's the one that you can press the button or he can choose.
You've got two buttons.
You've got two buttons. Right now, it's like, who do I blame? Is it Vinay? Is it Paratici?
Is it Charrington?
Is it the Lewis?
Is it Lange?
Family? Is it Lange? Is it all of them? Are all of them got to say who has a vote as well?
Exactly.
I don't know who has a vote and who doesn't. It's a whole mess. But apparently, that's also leading to a lot of what we're seeing now, which is very, very messy. We've heard leaks already. There was that Sky Sports journalist who leaked that it's apparently very messy in the boardroom. A lot of people don't know what they're doing from a footballing point of view. It's a lot of business people still running the show. For me, this whole rebrand has been an absolute myth. It's been
hit and hope, like Enix.
No, I just think they haven't changed. For me, this is what I was saying to Ben, from the rebrand point of view, they can change. They can put out all the PR they want about how it's, no more Levy, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, we have to treat it as if nothing's changed, because at the end of the day, nothing has. It's still ENIC. And so they have to prove to the fans that they have changed. It shouldn't be the case where they are innocent until proven guilty. They've already been found guilty. They have to prove at this point. They need evidence to show that they're innocent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's also
And the rebrand isn't enough.
But that's
they need
also,
actions.
That's also what gets me. And like Ben was saying about Change for Tottenham and the incredible work they're doing. There's so much talk on social media and chats. Yeah, we're going. You've got to get these guys out. Blah 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 blah. And then when it comes to the hard graft, like I experienced when I was outside the training ground, outside the club shop, doing everything I did, it's all talk. And the more and more it's all talk and people don't turn up to this, the more ridiculous it looks. So it's laid onto a plate for the fans, the match day going fans that are there that have said, I'll be there, whatever. And then they just don't turn up. The whole club is a mess.
All right, let's get George on. See what he's got to say. George, good
buddy.
to see you, my friend.
Big up, guys. How we doing?
I'm all right. Well, it's been quite the day.
Do you know what it's like? It's like when you've been to you go to a person's house and they've just lost a loved one, and the first thing goes, "How are you?" And you're like, "What a silly question." Yeah. I know exactly. It's literally that's what it's become at Tottenham, mate. It's literally you come on and go, "Yeah, okay." Mate,
it's literally how I felt every time I've been on, and you said, "How am I doing?" And it's just like, how do I respond to that other than just fucking shit?
Exactly.
To be honest,
no one's really talked about the game so far. It's called. It's all been about the manager. But what do you want to talk about? What's your topic of conversation?
well, first thing, I just hope Ben Davis is all right.
Yes,
I think.
Has there been anything come out?
I think he has
Nothing
broken his
yet.
leg.
It looked bad.
Yeah, he was having that little like inhalery thing. I noticed it. And the only time I've seen people use that, and used it myself, is when you break a bone. It basically knocks you out. My missus had it last year when it was getting all like pulled back into place and everything. So it's strong stuff. So he was in a lot of pain. Yeah, I think he's probably broken his ankle or something like that. So I don't know. Is that the last game we'll see of him in a Spurs shirt?
No, in this club, they'll give him another contract.
Yeah, probably. To be fair, he's not going to play for the rest of the season, so what do we say? Make him manager? Might have a chance of not being relegated.
So for you, George, when you're looking at the situation at the club, what do we do?
It's a mess, isn't it? I don't know. If I did know, I would be banging on the door demanding to be paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a week to figure it out, because I don't think even the people at the top of the club know what to do. I think there's so much infighting in the club. Fighting might not be the right word, because obviously they're all for a common goal or whatever, but no one from the top down to us of the fans seems to be able to agree on anything. And that's been the case for years. And that's the problem. It's like I've said many times before, we are a memeable club. We make ourselves memeable. We have the most toxic club as a general, not just fan base, the whole club is so toxic. And when we've got I think the players are better than they're showing. I think I've always said I'll support a manager until he's sacked. Frank out. I'm done with it. Thomas out. That's what I'm starting to say.
Yeah, that's a good idea, mate. I need to change it. Thank you, George.
That's all right. I thought you'd like that.
Trademark it before I steal it.
No, I said it for you, mate. It's all yours. It's the players seem to have completely lost belief. And if what you're saying is right about Romero and Frank having a bit of a go at each other for the last 10, 15 minutes, that really is like a really good example of how bad it is. Our club captain and our manager in front of fans in a public forum is not acceptable, let alone good enough. And I don't see where we go from here, because we give again, foundations are fucked, because we've got our youth and our academy. What's going on with them? Mikey Moore had so much promise, we've just loaned him out. We're bringing in all these youngsters, so when we bring him back, where's he going to have a chance to actually develop? We're bringing in too much youth and trying to develop all of this youth to make a profit for the club, as opposed to actually focusing on 2 or 3 top individuals like we did back when we had Harry Kane at the club. How many people from Harry Kane's era sort of came through into the first team? There was Harry Winks, who not not a scratch on Harry Kane. There was Ollie Skip, not a scratch on Harry Kane, and I can't remember or name off the top of my head any other players that came through at the same sort of time. And that's exactly what I mean. There's so many players coming through our academy, and they're just not. Like we hear about it, but we don't see it on the pitch. And I don't think that's just down to the manager. I think that's down to everything that the club does, the whole ethos of the club and how it's run and how success is viewed at this club. Because I think success for the board is completely different to what we as fans deem a success, what a manager deems a success. Certainly, Frank doesn't deem success in the same way that I do. He's saying that we're closer to turning it around than we are to not. Yeah, we're closer to turning it around and bending over for any other team that we play against at home. That's about as close as we are to turning anything around.
Frank said today, and on another day, we could have won this game 2-1. But we ended up losing.
What planet is that guy living on? Honestly, I don't. I've tried so hard to always back anyone who's at our club.
Well, you would
the
say
last
maybe
time
second half we were dominant, got back level.
we were dominant, but what did we show? What did we really show? Sorry. We're. It's. I don't see how he can come out and say that because
Exactly.
in the first half we were so poor, and yeah, we turned it around and played a little bit better, but playing a little bit better and in my eyes not doing enough to beat a team that's battling for relegation. Better way of phrasing it. We've got what, Burnley, and then who have we got after that? Man U, Man City, Fulham, Arsenal, and was it Liverpool as well? Come the end of February, we're going to be in a relegation battle, if not in the relegation places. I'm scared. If we don't get rid of him, and I'm surprised nothing's been said as well. I'm not surprised actually. I'm annoyed that nothing has been put out as a public or as a club statement yet. But I'm not surprised. It just harks back to typical Enoch. Maybe Levy wasn't the problem. Maybe the problem was even bigger.
Oh, he was, but I think we're
He
seeing
was part
George.
of the problem, but maybe he wasn't the sole problem. Maybe the problem is bigger than him. And I think everyone because it's Enoch out and Levy out.
That I can agree, George. But the problem was, and what we always said is, Levy was at the games. Joe Lewis probably doesn't even know what day of the week it is or who we're playing. He just doesn't care. Levy was there, and Levy always look. The Lewises didn't get involved in the transfer negotiations and haggling and doing. Look, since he's gone, Brennan Johnson out the door. Whether you agreed with it or not, Conor Gallagher in. Not a hitch, not a single drama in the transfers getting done. That part was Levy. Enoch are a massive problem. Enoch, like Simeon said before, they can come out with all the PR that they want. I and many others have been calling this out for years. But unfortunately, people want to believe or tend to think every time they put PR out, this is going to be different this time. Daniel Levy did a statement, the Aston Villa game, where fans came back in after COVID, when Serge Reguilon scored that amazing own goal, and said we're going to go back to playing the Tottenham style of football. He hired Nuno, Jose, Conte.
Yep.
Back to back. That's the exact opposite. He says, Steve Hitchen, we wasted £250 million. If that had happened at Enoch or Tavistock, someone loses or wastes £250 million and says, I don't like the January transfer window in the business terms, Enoch and Levy, those guys are gone. Not at Tottenham Hotspur. Enoch are a massive, massive problem. Massive problem.
100%.
But Levy was just as big.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. And I wasn't saying that he's not. I'm just saying.
Oh, good. No, I know you weren't.
Like, he's. What I meant by that was he's gone and things have, if anything, gotten worse. And it's. I fear if we don't sack Frank in the next week, that we will get relegated this season. And it's not an invalid fear either. When you look at our fixtures and you look at the performances we've been given and everything, it's a bad it's bad that it's actually a potential. But then, what I do want to touch on the other side of things is, and there's loads of caveats and arguments against what I'm about to say, but fans also don't give managers enough time and give projects enough time. Now, I don't think Frank deserves that extra time. I'm not in any way saying that he should stay. He needs to go. But when we do choose a project, the club will back it and the fans won't, or the fans will back it and the club won't. There needs to be, that's what I mean when I say it's toxic. There needs to be some sort of cohesive, all for one and one for all. Like, we're a football club. We all want to win stuff. We all want to be good. We don't want to be the laughing stock. We've just won a European trophy. We should be thriving off of that. And as I've said previously, maybe even after the last game, Man United are the team we beat in the final, and they're acting like they're the team that won, and we're acting like the team that lost. There's just a level of naivety that flows through the blood and the veins of this club, and it's absolutely soul crushing for every single Spurs fan.
Agreed.
I feel self-conscious wearing anything like this is Spurs Udi. I feel self-conscious wearing anything that has Spurs on that I can't cover up or hide. A necklace, I can hide that. But anything else, you open yourself to absolute ridicule. And we do it to ourselves.
Yep.
When's it going to end?
In terms of sacking him, are you at the stage where get an interim in if need be, and that's what it needs to be?
Sim, you take the fucking job. Mate, you'll keep us up.
Oh, could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Make the call, V9.
I know. Myself and Crazy Rat would definitely be on that. Oh, we'll be on board.
You and Crazy Rat. Fantastic. At least I have two supporters.
Yeah, well,
no one would ever be fully sim
I
out.
wonder who you'd call in to be your assistant.
I wonder. Good question. Good question. George, it's good to see you, my friend. I'll catch you in a bit.
Boys.
See you later, George.
Fingers
Bye.
crossed
I'll give you a call
better.
during the week.
100%. Come on, you
See you later,
Spurs.
bro.
That was George. I'm going to have another read of this quote from Thomas Frank in his press conference. Sorry,
Make it
Brian.
stop. You know that meme that says "make it stop"? That's me. Stop. Just make it stop.
He said, on the defeat, let's say the Bournemouth game and the Villa game and this game here, if the players stop running or stop anything or stop doing anything or not working hard and we are not the team that's closest to winning, then you can say, okay, but I think the team is working very hard and I still think, and I know it sounds a little crazy, that we are close to something very good than further away. I think you all saw the game today. We could have easily have won this 2-1 and I think it's no excuses. But also the reason we're a little bit down to the bare bones with the players, and we also need some of the offensive players to score a goal or two. All that is difficult for me to do like that and click with a finger. But I can promise that I'm sitting here giving everything every single day. I feel the trust from everyone, and there's only one way we need to keep going.
Can someone put a gag on him?
Stop
Seriously.
the guy from talking.
What's
is he using these
the
examples
thing?
of Bournemouth
The
Villa in
embargo.
this game?
Embargo. We need to have an embargo that he can't do press conferences.
Thomas Frank.
Like Thomas
embargo.
Frank, you're not allowed to come on and talk because what you're saying is. How can you say, yeah, you take those games?
Did he watch these games he's talking
Mate, this is
about?
what I'm saying.
Bournemouth, Villa, and like the first halves in Villa, it was 2-0. Lucky, we were shite. The first half today should have been more than 2. We were lucky it wasn't. The Bournemouth game, we were good for about 15 minutes in that game. Like, yeah we were giving it a good bet in the last bit of the game, but come on, like I don't even look at that game and say how amazing we were. Like, when are these good performances coming?
Do you know, when we've had managers that have come out and called it out as it is, they pay the price. They've paid the price, whether it be Sherwood, with what he said at Chelsea, whether it be Conte, whether it be Jose when he said different manager, same players. They all pay the price.
Yeah.
Harry Redknapp when he called the board out after the old England fiasco. But then when you have a manager like this, who I categorically don't understand what he's saying or what he's seeing, there's no accountability.
Yeah.
It's just like, carry on talking absolute random nonsense. it's so disappointing because I was looking forward to his press conferences. They've been atrocious.
You want to know a disgusting stat?
Oh, come on, why not? Why not?
Disgusting. Nuno has won the same amount of Premier League matches at our stadium in the last 9 months than Spurs have. Just Nuno. He's only played 2. Played 2, won 2.
Yep. Oh, yeah, he played Notts Forest last season, didn't he?
No,
On my
won.
mum's 70th birthday, yeah. Mate,
That is something else. We
Mate.
are a simulation. Let's get Manny on. Maybe he can give us any positivity.
This is the first time I'm actually going to speak to Manny on screen. Muzzle top.
Big-
It's
big
incredible.
up.
Big up, Manny.
Big up, guys. And if I cut off, it's because I'm on literally 6%. I was at the stadium, and thanks for getting me on late, by the way, because I had to quickly go into Tesco and get some syrup for the waffle that came out of Danny's mouth. Big up Danny Kiriakou, but he was absolutely waffling. And but big up, guys. Brian, big up, Sim. Listen, I'm gonna speak on a few things, right? The board. What you guys have said about Enoch, the Lewis family, whichever way you want to dress it up, is absolutely spot on. Whether you like Frank, I don't like Frank, whichever way you want to see it, for them to go, what day is this? The 17th day of January.
Yeah.
Knowing the condition that this squad is in, and not back him properly, right? If they think he is their man, for them not to back him properly is an absolutely, it's a disaster. And that's exactly what they did to Ange last season, and people didn't want to hear it at the time. We had 13 injuries. In January, they waited till the last day of the window to bring 2 outfield players in for him to help him out. This is not a rebrand. This is I don't know. This is not new people. This is the same people with the same philosophy who now want to just shy away from the Enoch brand, shy away from the Levy brand, and are trying to tell us that they're different. How about you back the guy that you are saying is the guy for us, right? That's the first point I want to point out. The second point I want to make is the fact that these players need to hang their heads in shame as well. Like, I don't think Frank is the guy for us. I don't think mentally he has the right mentality for a top club, and that's not a slight on him. A lot of managers are like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? A lot of managers are like that. It doesn't mean that, listen, if we want to act as a big club, and I'm not with the notion of what a lot of people are saying, oh, we can't sack him because of this, X, Y, Z. Sack him, bring someone in, and if that person is not right, sack him too. Because we are at a point in time, we are at a precarious point in time in our history right now, whereby we're just sliding down the table, and we are really, really in a position where we can get relegated if the bottom 3 are good enough. Like, I don't understand this whole notion of, oh, because the guy has come in for... How long did Nuno get? Can anyone remind me?
He got
How
2
long
months.
did Nuno get?
Was it 2 or was it a little
And
bit
he's
over?
3
come
months,
to the
maybe,
Spurs
3 months,
Stadium.
yeah.
3 months. He came to the Spurs Stadium, and literally with world-class Souček in midfield and world-class Oliver, whatever his name is, at left back, did a number on us. Let's be serious. And now I want to speak on the manager, right? With regards to the manager, I think I heard you guys ask a few things with regards to who could replace him and why we should whether we should get him out or not get him out. I am happy, even though I want Frank out. I would have been happy to keep Frank to the end of the season if this guy at least recognized that we are a shambles. He said 2 presses ago that he is not seen us play 2 back-to-back bad games this whole season.
Yeah.
That is where my concern comes in, is that I am starting to realize that this guy is actually not seeing what is happening with this football club. So I look at that and I'm thinking, he's got to go, because if he doesn't go, he looks at Jules and looks at how many times people have barked on the pitch as a successful game, and that's where my concern starts to come in. And I'm like, I really, and I don't care about this Ange, Frank. I wanted Ange to stay. They deemed him not good enough to stay because of the number of losses. I understand that, but that does not mean that Frank is the right guy for us. A manager who sets us up at home not to lose is never going to be the right manager for Tottenham Hotspur. I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry to break it out for people. I'm sorry. And the last point I want to also make is about the protest. I went in, obviously. I told my wife the fact that I needed to leave home at 12 o'clock. So what did she do? She turns up at 12:30, and I missed the protest in front of the pub, right? But I did go into the concourse to try and help, boost that up and trying to make my voice heard. And there was nearly nobody there. There was nearly nobody there. There were people eating, people laughing, having a great time. But then they go and sit at their seats, and then they start booing.
Yep.
So I'm like, are you going to help the guys that changed for Tottenham out? Are you going to stand up and say, you know what, we want to make our voices heard so that we can try and effect some change? Or is everyone just going to be very happy, paying money, eating, drinking, and then going to the seats and then start booing when they don't like something? I just don't understand. I think we are at such a massive impasse as a club, which I don't know where we go from here, guys. I don't know where we go from here. And to all the fans who keep coming on and saying, oh, we need 13 more players. These players are so bad. So why the hell did we sack Frank and Ange if these players are so bad? And to Danny, if you think the players are so bad, why are you then also saying that the players are the ones who won the Europa League? Which is which? Make up your mind, guys. Genuinely, make up your mind. It is okay to have wanted Ange out and saying, you know what, I actually don't think Frank is the right guy for us. It is okay. You are not going to get arrested for saying that. Like it's people, and I'm not talking about normal fans, I'm talking about the YouTube community. A lot of people are so scared to be called flip-flops that they would literally die on a hill. The best thing that can happen for us right now is for Frank to change things and turn things around, right? I understand that, and I wish for Frank to do that. However, I do not think he is the guy who can take us forward. Just because he took Brentford lost him, and they're now doing better with the set piece coach. Make that make sense. And for him to come out and to not acknowledge the situation we're in, as Brian, I think Brian is the one who said it. For him to not say, right, listen, fans, I know where we're at. I know this is not good enough, but we will fight nail and tooth, or whatever it's the saying is, to try and turn this thing around. For him not to come out and say that is a bigger indictment on him than it is on anybody else at that club.
Yeah,
but guys,
go on.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, I completely agree. I think Frank coming out with some of the quotes he says we're close to turning it around. He's saying, like, you watch the games against Bournemouth and Villa and today, look how we were so close to winning and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, he's watching a different game. But maybe that's his standard. But the thing is, that has been the standard at Brentford, hasn't it? If he was a Brentford manager and he was saying this stuff, it would resonate because Brentford, little old Brentford, who are lucky to stay up every season, kind of vibe. And it's like, look, we're so close to winning these games. Look how competitive we are. But it's just, I don't know if he knows he's at Tottenham. He feels that he basically
Fake it till you make it.
He speaks like he's managing Brentford. That's how he talks, and that to me, as you say, I think that to me has really sold me on the fact that Frank is just not going to be the guy. Plus, the football he plays, you can see what he's trying to do is mid-table. That is how we play. Like at least with Ange, but my point with Ange was we were failing at trying to play like a big club. That's what we were trying to do. We were trying to play dominant. We were trying to play like a big club, and we failed massively at doing it. Now, you can see he's trying to play like a mid-table team. That's the setup. Just spam crosses in the box, rely on set pieces. These are things he's trying to do. And we're not even good at that. But that's what he tries to do. And that is just how can you back that? How can you want that for the future of this club? And that's I'm absolutely just lost on him.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll pick up what Manny said about, obviously, Keith Andrews doing a superb job at Brentford and they've lost players. What I will say, I would take the Brentford owners over ENIC in a goddamn heartbeat.
Yeah.
Since they've been in charge, they do for that football club, what they do for the community, they're one of the clubs that have said, you know what, we're ripping off fans by changing our shirts every season. We're going back to changing it every 2 seasons. They've got an initiative that all the fans, home or away, that are under 10 years old will pay £10 to get into that ground so they can entice the fans of tomorrow. They may not have the money of ENIC, but I tell you what, if Brentford had ENIC's money, the way that football club is run and from where he purchased them to where they are now, Brentford, Bournemouth, Brighton, incredibly run football clubs for both the community and the football team. Football first, community second, and all the things that come on after. I would swap the Brentford owners for our owners in a goddamn heartbeat.
Manny, I know your phone's about to die, so I'll let you go. But appreciate
Big up, Manny, bro.
Always good to speak to you, my friend. And I'll catch you in a bit. You've dropped his phone.
That's a mic drop.
Later, Manny. Big up, Manny. I always like talking to Manny.
He's a top
There
man.
has been a bit of breaking news.
Oh, do I do?
Nothing.
No,
nothing concrete yet, but the Times are reporting that Thomas Frank's future is now in the balance after Spurs suffered an embarrassing home defeat to West Ham. So it looks like there are reports now starting to come out about Thomas Frank's future, which is, by the way, so embarrassing for the hierarchy. After Friday, they made a whole big song and dance about how they're giving him time. They literally said on Friday, they leaked to the press that West Ham is not a must-win, that even if he loses, he's going to be safe.
Is that the dreaded vote of confidence, as they used to say?
But I also think it's embarrassing to do that and then sack him after the game. You just said it. It is,
but again, you want to carry on the embarrassment. That was Friday. Yesterday, day before a match, Vinay's thing. That Vinay statement should have been in the Sunderland. January, New Year, bang, first programme. This is what January's intentions are. We're going to do this, yada, yada, yada. Something to buy into. But then you, like Benny said, what are we, the 17th of January today? Plan protest? Oh, yeah. We're putting it in the programme right here, right now.
Yeah.
The club have done this. Like I said, when the people I was affiliated with started ramping the pressure up on the training ground and outside the club shop, the trust came in and put the 4 questions in and started appearing on Sky News. It's tactical. They're playing chess. They know what they're doing. The PR they've got is brilliant. The reality of following through with what they say is non-existent.
Let's get David on.
I feel sorry. How many Cokes has David had tonight?
I've only had 2, mate. Only 2.
You're lightweight today. Lightweight.
Yeah, lightweight.
David, reports now starting to filter that Frank's future does actually remain in the balance now. Where are you on it?
Before I get into that, Sim, you've stolen Mikey's whole fucking flow bar word for word. Mikey's told me to tell you that.
What, his flow?
His flow.
Which part? Which part was he about to rant about? Probably about Frank, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he was going to rant about like the hierarchy and them sacking him. Yeah, but getting into that, I think it's going to end up that that we're going to sack him at the end of the January transfer window. We're going to bring in players for Frank, young players who fit Frank's system, and then he's going to be gone at the end
Which
of
makes
the
no
window.
sense.
No, but that makes perfect Enix sense, which is the problem.
Yes,
That is the problem.
That's why I think that's what's going to happen. And I think also the board, they have no idea what they're doing, and they're too afraid to make a decision. They're too afraid to make a decision, and that's why you're getting reports saying, Frank is going to get sacked, but then he doesn't get sacked, and it's because the board have no idea what they're doing. They just have no idea what they're doing, and they're too afraid.
Yeah, do you think as well is, hiring Frank? I know Levy was obviously part of that process, but in terms of Vinay being part of it, Lange as well, this was like a big kind of their big first hiring, and they're just so desperate for it not to end in embarrassing failure after 6 months, aren't they? I think that's a big part of it.
I think that's a big part of it as well. I agree with you, and I think Thomas Frank isn't a top club manager. He's a mid-table manager at best. And I think if we do bring in a new manager, we should bring in my opinion, I don't think Poch, because that's going back into the past. And I think going back, it's like an analogy. Going back to your ex doesn't always work. And I would view Poch, he worked, but would he work at this moment, at time when the club is in a totally different position? We're going down, and I expect us to be in a relegation battle at the end of this season. So I think we need to bring in a different manager. I think, such as Glasner, I think he would be a good guy to bring in, and he's used to working under not a lot of backing, and he's won stuff. And I think that's the difference between him and Frank.
Yeah, and I think what do you think about some of Frank's comments as well after today and how he generally speaks? A lot of people aren't happy about the way he talks about the club and some games. Like, what's your perspective on it?
I'm sorry, I was just going to say this. Just shut up, please. He's such an idiot. And I find it so offensive sometimes. How I remember once where he said, well, last season we finished 17th, so we've improved. He has no idea what he's talking about. He's offending this club and us as fans. He's offending us, and he's attacking us directly. And I find it so offensive. And I think he just needs to leave this club immediately. He's not welcome. I've had enough. And just, I'm going to be rude. Just please fuck off. Go back to Brentford, go back to Denmark, from wherever you came from. I've had enough. I've really had enough.
I can understand it, Joe. I honestly can understand it, and I agree with absolutely all of it at the moment, unfortunately. And it's horrible for me to have to say that with how much I wanted this to work. But it's just, you know what? Go back to, was it the Brentford game, the horrific Brentford game, where we went defensively, we're building. We've kept 2 clean sheets. But
Yeah.
I
No one
agreed.
mentions we kept
no,
a clean
but
sheet,
I agreed with that part. I agreed. We looked a little bit more stable defensively, but then he doesn't say we're shocking up front. We need to change. And so there's snippets that he says that you can get your teeth into and go, yeah, I understand that. But then he goes from there to, yeah, you take these games. I think we really played well when we're on the verge of turning it around. When you're not.
But for me as well, like when he says things like we're improving the defence and now we're going to work on the attack and stuff like that, like that worries me, because that kind of tells me he's got a kind of fundamental lack of. Obviously, look, he's a football manager. He knows more than me about football. But when he says things like that, does he not realise that the attack and defence are linked? They're not separate things. You can't just work on one without the other, because the way you attack affects the way you defend, and vice versa. The reason why the top teams, like to dominate and control games and dominate the ball is because if you dominate the ball more, you defend less.
Yeah.
Right? And you're going to be less in your own half. And when he says things like, "Oh, we're getting the fundamentals of defence, and then we're going to work on the attack," it's like, well, once you start working on the attack, you're going to change how you defend.
Well,
That makes no sense to me.
You talk about attack and defend, and David, I get your point of view on this. I've said as well. I think we all talk about making the defence stronger and not conceding as many. But the midfield's got to take accountability for this as well. When you've got people like Bentancur or whoever it may be, Gray, but that midfield, there's players that need to get back into shape to protect that defence. And they haven't been doing their job either. So people like Conor Gallagher will give you that energy, will give you that solidity. But I think we keep talking about defence, we're being open, and then you look at the attack and we're not scoring. The midfield aren't helping the defence, but the midfield also aren't helping get the ball forward to create anything for the attack either, David. What do you think?
I think with the defence, we've been like as you said, so for the Brentford game, defence was solid, attack was shite.
Yep.
This game, both were shite.
Yep.
We were absolutely disgraceful. I think the only players in the first half who were actually properly decent were one. This is going to be controversial. Matisse Tell. He looks lively and he attacks the defenders, and he manages to beat the man. And then also, I would say Archie Gray. Even though Ben did say he didn't really like Archie Gray, I think Archie Gray was putting in those tackles, putting in those extra tackles. Yeah, and then I think that's mainly it. Those were the only two players who really came out in the first half. But it's just the team was horrendous. It's like I've had enough of this team. I've watched like every single Premier League game, and I've stayed up until like 3 a.m. every single fucking night. I've had enough. It's enough, and I don't know what needs to happen for the board to realise that we're in deep shit. I'm starting to think that we need to get relegated for the board to actually realise that change needs to happen. Something drastic needs to happen for the board to wake up and stop hiding. Stop hiding from the public and tell us what's wrong with the club. Because it's just I'm so tired right now, and I'm full of emotions, and I've had enough, man. I'm considering just having a break from watching Spurs because it's really just deteriorated my mental health.
I don't think anyone will blame you, David. I think
it's depressing. It's depressing, man, and I really do. I really do appreciate you guys just having to watch Spurs games in and out. And I'm surprised you guys haven't quit yet. But no, it's shocking. And there's not much to say. I don't know what needs to be fixed. I think the whole club needs to be fixed. I think Enoch needs to go. 90% of the players need to go. The manager needs to go. The whole coaching staff needs to go. The stadium can stay, and the training ground can stay.
Yeah, but 100%, David. But look, we're gonna have to move on. Appreciate you coming on.
David, speak to you soon.
It's good to talk to you, mate. Thanks for calling in.
I really enjoy listening to David. I really enjoy the calls. It stays up till 3 bloody a.m. Fair play to him.
Just a little added bit of news on the Frank situation. The Times followed on their report saying Tottenham's hierarchy have been keen to give Thomas Frank time, but they are now understood to be weighing up a change following today's defeat.
It's done. But let's put it this way. I think you and Ben are in for a very, very long day tomorrow.
You reckon?
I reckon. Mate, do you remember when you went to Spain and the Nuno thing happened?
Shall I go away?
Yeah, mate, that was El Sacico, wasn't it?
That was El
Nuno's
Sacico.
there.
Maybe this will be an El Sacico.
Mate, I think you're in for a very, very long day tomorrow.
Just a few super chats, which I didn't get to. I'll get to now. One of them says, "A big country says, leave Brian alone. It's just passion. Frank out." Michael
Play, brother.
Says, "My dad used day close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades." I think he must have misspelled something. My dad used to say close. Okay. My dad used to say close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Okay. Chameleon Eye says, as much as Vic should have been stronger, our centre-backs should never have been letting our keeper get pushed around by like 3 guys. That's a fair point.
Yep.
Sendy Flus. Levy in, our club was dead before Levy came. He revived us, and now that he's left, we are dead again. We'll never see good football again. Come on, you Spurs.
No comment. No comment.
No comment.
No.
James Joris, my support for our club is only matched by my support for Ben, Sim and Brian.
Big up, James.
And the whole team. Listen daily for America for years. Big up. Come on, you Spurs. Big up
Mr.
to you, James.
Big up,
Appreciate
Mr.
support.
Joris.
Jacondre Jones says, I'm loving Big Ange instead a lot right now. I'm loving Big Ange a lot right now. We were so happy. Oh, 6 months ago we were. Maybe not before that. And Kaitre says, Joe Lewis, best pals with Soros. Look it up. I'm sure there's probably something to that. Anyway, let's get Nate on. How you doing, mate?
Big up, Nate.
Hi guys, how are you?
All good.
You're usually cheery and positive. Anything for us today?
I wish I could bring that positive. Yeah, apologize. My voice is absolutely gone. I've had a few actual games played. I'm a goalie out the back, so stream all the time. So apologize for the raspiness in my voice today. But he's got to go, and he's got to go soon before he loses his merit as a somewhat decent coach. All the Brentford progress he had as a manager will be emphatically erased the longer he stays here, because people will only remember him as a coach for the minuscule time he spent here. I watched that first half with my dad. My dad is not a football, soccer person at all, and he basically told me, he's like, what's the goal? You like the team in white? What are they trying to accomplish? And I was like, I don't know. I can't tell you. And it's so dry going forward. Like, and I think it was, oh my God, I can't remember who said it now. I've been in the queue for a while, but someone mentioned how we replaced Son, Dele, Kane, Bale with like Odegaard, Tell.
That's me. Yeah.
Like, just the regression has just been on a steady decline. But I also think that we have to move on. I don't think bringing in Pochettino is the right idea for the future. And I only think that because, again, I'm Canadian, but I watch a lot of the USA games because they play Canada quite frequently. And he hasn't changed his tactics since he was with us like 7 years ago. So I think he's a bit obsolete as a manager. But, yeah, I'm wondering what you guys are thinking right now.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Poch, it's mixed feelings. I think right now, to be honest, I think the fans just need a manager they can connect with and get behind. I think Poch would instantly get fans on side. Whether he takes us back to the top in terms of where we were when he was manager before, I don't know. We're so far away from that. But I think, could he get us back challenging for top 4 and stuff? I think, yeah. And I think I'll take that with and with the football he's going to bring. We know we're going to be attacking. We know we're going to press. We're going to be chucking players forward, and it's going to be fun to watch most of the time. So I think for me, I would be in favour of it. I would look if you're telling me, would I rather a Nagelsmann? Would I rather a Xavi Alonso? Would I rather someone like that? Yeah, I think there are better managers out there. But right now, I guess we've got to be realistic, don't we?
I'm going to add to that. I would take a Nagelsmann over Poch. But also, you've got to look at you've got to look at it. It's only because, well, like I said, I don't like it when former players come back to manage clubs. Look what happened with Glenn Hoddle, who's a god as a football player, but then as a manager, it doesn't work out. Poch, as much as I love him, and I think apart from when I had the pleasure of watching Paul Gascoigne week in, week out, watching Poch was the best time of my life as a Spurs fan. I'll take Nagelsmann. And you look at the World Cup managers, you know who I'd love to come in? He won't come, and this is going to be, this will cause controversy, and someone who will come in and will not take shit from the board is Carlo Ancelotti. Someone who will come on with respect to say, do you know what? I'll get players here, but I ain't taking this nonsense. He's come to the Premier League. He's won a title. He went to Everton. He's gone to Real Madrid twice. He went to Everton. He did it at Chelsea, and he's a man that won't take crap. And he's a disciplinarian, and he won't come out saying, "Oh yeah, I think we could have turned this around if we just play." He would. You look at it. Poch, Nagelsmann, and Ancelotti are available after this World Cup. Apparently, I would take Ancelotti right now.
Nate, tell me, you're a goalkeeper from your point of view. What was how did you see the winning goal for West Ham?
Pathetic. And goalkeeping 101. You don't get pushed around. You push people because you've got the right of way.
Yep.
I think that last goal we conceded there with Vicario being... Vicario's 6'5". Callum Wilson's probably 5'10". The size difference, like, between the two of them, like, he is up to Vicario's hands. That's why he's complaining about someone grabbing his hand. You cannot get out-muscled and out-boxed like that. He wasn't even close to off his line. You watch it back, he's not even 2 yards off his line. When you're a Premier League professional goalkeeper, dude, we have got, and I've been lobbying for this. Kinsey, he's a dud. That one, you bid on him, he was cheap, it just didn't work out. But I think that when you think and you consider everything else, I think he was far too brittle, and I don't think you've got to come out and claim the ball. I just thought it was too weak, and he just didn't make a play for it. That's my opinion on the second goal anyway. But again, you could make a case for Romero's got to bully Wilson a little bit, push him outside, box him out. But again, it falls on it's goalkeeper's onus like 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm. So if you think Kinski is a dud, Nate, and obviously that's you're a goalkeeper, so you look at these things. If Spurs were to bring a keeper in, let's just say Spurs, whatever manager, whatever, they said, right, Joe, we need to address this goalkeeping issue. We need to address it now. Who's your top pick to bring in?
Bart Verbruggen from Brighton. He's my top pick. You watch him; he is he's the perfect combination of a sweeper keeper and a shot stopper to me. He's good with his feet. But again, he can pull up some crazy top drawer saves. I mean, he's young. He's only 22, so he still has a few poor mistakes in him, just decision making. But I think that'll develop with time. Again, we don't develop players; we regress players. Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to need like a really, really good keeper to come in. Do I think that's realistic? No, because I feel like Brighton will ask for probably 30, 40 million for him, and I don't think the board's going to put up with that. For a more realistic option, I really like, what's his name? From Real Sociedad, Alex Moreno. Alex Moreno, I think, is a great keeper. Experienced, he's been in Spain a while. Good player, great with his feet, left-footed keeper. I think he's really good too. So I think those are like the two main options you could go for. Okay. I think those two are both really solid choices. But I think Verbruggen, Premier League experience. But real quick too, I'm going to say something just about on hands of the board. I think things are going to have to get way worse before things ever get better. And what I mean by that is I think this is not going to be popular to anybody watching. I think Romero has to get sold. I think Van de Ven has to get sold. I think Paro has to get sold. I think Vicario has to get sold. And I think Basuma has to get sold. I think Sarr has to get sold. I think you need to blow – North American sports, we call it blowing it up, where you just get rid of everybody and rebuild. I think you can allocate all those funds. Van de Ven is – again, he's a great player, and I love him dearly. I have 3 of his jerseys in my closet. But his ego – same thing with Romero. Like, it's starting to cause some contradictions to me where he can – obviously, he's good enough to go do it, where he's like, he's being like, oh, I want to go play for Liverpool, Barcelona, Real Madrid. Both of those defenders, Romero and Van de Ven, would fit right into those two teams. But at the same time, we can't beat West Ham. And you're getting bullied by Callum Wilson out there. 34 whatever-year-old Callum Wilson. You're getting bullied by him, and you think you're going to go put up with Mbappe, Haaland? Like, no. So I think that, like, you've got to bring in players who want to play for the team and understand that this club isn't a stepping stone to propel you to the top. This club is going to be a top club. Look at the stadium. Look at that on TV. It's beautiful. The training ground, top class. We've got so much potential. We generate the most money out of any team in the league. But our owner is getting boozed in the Bahamas, not giving a shit about what's going on. And he just does not give a fuck. And it's just so frustrating as an overseas fan who can't put myself in one of those protests, who can't go over there and show my support of what I want to see happen. It's immensely difficult and frustrating. So I think things are going to have to get way more toxic before they improve. I'm being serious about that. And I want to say any of these things? No, because I want it to work out. But Frank has got to go. I think that's step one. And from there, you just got to let it ride out and just see where it goes from there.
All right, Nate.
Yep.
Good to see you, my friend.
Check out, Nate.
Sorry, guys.
No
I
worries,
acted
bro.
out of character. Usually I'm all jolly, but
Mate, I
kind
love
of
you,
lost it a little bit.
I love the amount
I
of
think these desperate times calls for desperate measures.
I love the amount of Canadians that call in now. It's brilliant. It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
yes, they
I feel
are.
home.
And it kind of reminds me of my beloved Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh,
where
Jesus.
In the 2013, after that Boston loss, Brian, you might know what I'm talking about, the Game 7. Worst day of my entire life. But then GM left, Lou Lamoriello came in, and then they drafted Matthews, Marner, and all those guys came in. If anybody doesn't know, they're like profound stars now. They're like really top players, like best in the league. So, I mean, that's just kind of what it is. I think it just needs an ownership change, and the things will fall into place from there.
Yeah, nice one, Nate. Appreciate you.
Come on, you Spurs guys. Go Leafs, go. Take care.
Do you know how many Canadians tell when they speak that they haven't won the Stanley Cup since 1967? They are the biggest supported hockey team. They have the most expensive tickets. They bring in the best players, and they always choke because they play in blue and white. Do you know how many people I speak to and say the Maple Leafs are basically the Tottenham of hockey?
It sounds like
Mate, honestly, the comparisons are endless.
All right, let's get... Oh, here, look who's come to join. Let's get Mr. Stelios in
Let's
the
see how
car. Is he
his
in
connection
Cyprus or
is.
he here?
He's here. He's here.
Stel, you've come back to this shit show. How are you doing?
Yeah, just on the way home, guys. Really, really, really pissed off beyond belief for so many reasons, guys. I'm genuinely sick to death of this football club. It beggars belief that we're even classed as a big football club. We're an abomination. We truly are a diabolical organisation. And
did you think before today that we could have lost? That there was a chance we would lose today?
No. I said there's no way we lose to this team. I've seen West Ham this season play a couple of games. By the way, good evening, Sim. Good evening, Brian.
Good evening, brother.
Sorry, guys.
I love you're stopped at a red light. It looks like you're red hot, like red fuming with anger.
That's still calmed down. I can tell he's calmed down. That red is just a calm down. That's a lighter shade of red.
The reason I'm calm is because I've just been drinking with all the other YouTubers and I've got it off my chest. I've been having a few Guinnesses with the guys. Do you know what? I went to the protest and so many people I spoke with and like-minded fans that have had enough of this awful ownership of ours. And Sean Butler came up to me and said, Stel, I'm going to remind you on Monday when we do YouTube that only 2,000 fans came to this protest and the majority of them agree with me. And I said, yeah, but the problem is, Sean, if we don't get a positive result today, you're going to hear 30,000 fans booing and chanting for change, yet only 200 of them turn up at the protest. And that's what's pissed me off more than anything else. This fan base doesn't have a clue what it wants or what it is. 200 fans protesting for change, protesting for a real football club to behave in a way that justifies that £1 billion stadium. 200 fans turn up, yet 30,000 want to boo and sing songs about you're getting sacked in the morning. That's all good and well, you doing that. But you don't want to fight for change. And I'm flabbergasted by the state of our club, guys.
Stel, you shouldn't be. Do you remember what happened when you joined me on deadline day at the training ground? How raging I was. Stel, you know better than most for everything that we have gone through together regarding this. We've done this for many years, and even opposite the club shop, you name it. How many times do we hear we'll be there, we'll be there, we'll be there, we'll be there? And I would imagine, if I'm right, that after the full-time whistle, after all these people booing, and after all these people do whatever, the goal line bar and every bar was packed.
Brian, packed.
Of course.
Packed. Phil P had to calm me down because I lost it. I literally, I cannot accept a fan base. As soon as West Ham scored the winner, the whole South Stand, not the whole, but most of it, you're getting sacked in the morning, I'm like, that's great. That's great. But why aren't you fighting for real change? You know, and after the game, the boos were toxic. It was so toxic today. You know, Ben, you know, Sim's brother walked past me, fuming. There wasn't one happy soul. And yet, I go downstairs and I see 2,000 fans, beers, pizzas, burgers, pumping money into the club. And I just thought, guys, what the fuck are you all booing for? What are you actually booing? Take a long, hard look at yourself.
Well, it sounded like it was the manager they were booing.
Yeah, but look, Frank has to go. I said before this game, I haven't once said Frank out, but I said anyhow we lose to West Ham, this West Ham, that hasn't won in 10 games, that's only won 3 games all season. If we lose to this lot, then I'm Frank out. I am Frank out now. I am Frank out. And I said I'd give him the season, but I cannot accept that.
Still, I'm with you.
And get rid of him. Bring in an interim, change manager. But you know what, guys? We've still got Vinay here. We've still got Charrington, the Levy kids, Lange. How in any world is it acceptable to have Johan Lange as the man behind our transfers? I said to all the Spurs fans who got really excited about Conor Gallagher, I said, listen, guys, he might be good, he might not be. But that's not the solution. The biggest problem at Tottenham right now on the pitch, we don't have goal scorers. Moani doesn't score. Tell rarely scores. Odebert doesn't score. Xavi Simons rarely scores. We need goals. We need a left and a right winger that can create and score goals. We need a number 10 and a number 9 that can score goals. Our problem is we don't score goals. Conor Gallagher's not going to fix that. Signing a left back isn't going to fix that. Conor Gallagher as part of a squad in the future, yeah, okay, I get it. But right now, we need goal scorers. So sack Frank. The next guy that comes in doesn't have goal scorers. The only thing I'm hoping is if we do sack him, which I don't think we will, by the way, I think they're going to keep him.
Not by the sounds of it, Stel. Not by the sounds of it.
Yeah, they're going to keep him, man. They're going to keep him. They're going to let the whole thing rot.
There are reports tonight coming from the Times saying the Tottenham hierarchy have been keen to give Frank time, but they are now understood to be weighing up a change.
Tim, every manager at Spurs is not the problem. Joel, AVB, Conte, Jose, Poch, Nuno, and they're not the problem. We know what the problem is. We know that the issue is Enoch. Levy was part of Enoch. But there comes a point for every manager where you say, right, this is unacceptable. Today was unacceptable.
Yep.
This West Ham team, they're so bad, guys. Today, by the way, they look like fucking Barcelona at times. I'm like, is this really happening to us? Is this really happening to us? Have I paid to watch this? For all the huff and the puff and the attacking possession that we had, the shots that we had, we never once looked like we were really creating cutting-edge chances, or that we were playing those killer passes, or that the crosses were so crisp and on point that we were going to score goals. It never looked like that. It never once looked like that.
Frank said he thinks we're closer to turning it around than further away.
He hasn't got a clue what he's talking about.
Correct.
He hasn't got a clue what he's talking about.
Correct. Stel, go quick question for you. going back towards protest, change for Spurs and everything, obviously,
Yeah.
we've all tried something. We've all done what we've tried to do. I honestly believe now, and hopefully Change for Spurs can work on something or do something. I think the only thing that's going to do anything right now is boycotting the game.
Brian, the problem we've got is we're not going to get the numbers to do it.
This carries on. I just don't know. I just don't know. How many people are not going to games right now because of Frank or the state of the club? And I believe a lot of it now is due to Thomas Frank, and I can see where they're coming from. But you've seen it when Liverpool had the protest about tickets and they walked out at a planned moment. The Liverpool fans did it with that lot down the road under Wenger and everything. That one game, I know, like you said, this fan base won't do it, but Spurs have tried. The fan base has tried everything. Isn't it worth giving that a go, rather than just Change for Spurs doing all this media work, all this getting it out there, just to literally go there and see like 100, 200 people there? Wouldn't it be a bigger message to just say, right, don't go? Pick a game later on in the season and just don't go.
Brian, I don't want to be rude. Could you repeat that last bit? Because my uncle and auntie walked past the car walking the dog randomly and I waved at them and I stopped listening to your last bit.
How dare you? So, no, I said, listen, with everything Change for Spurs have done...
Like, why is my uncle and auntie walking past the car? Like...
I said, with everything Change for Spurs have done and what we've tried to do, the group we were with, always all this talk and then no numbers. Always, always, always. What is there to lose? People going, why am I paying for this stuff? I know you've paid the ticket, but you look at Liverpool, like I said, when they protested, and I know the Liverpool fan base will do it en masse. I know that lot down the road did it en masse with the Wenger and Kroenkes, whatever. Everything else is failing.
Brian, there's no appetite for it. There's no appetite for it. Look, I say things and people get really angry with me and call me negative and toxic. 5 years ago, when I went after Enoch and Levy with you and many others, we got called every name under the sun. Now everyone's realised they're the problem. When I say things like our fans are a problem, they are, because they boo, they moan, they complain, they whinge, they whine. But that's not going to change anything. We as a club, as a fan base, if we don't take the kind of action that destabilises the ownership, that truly disrupts this hierarchy, nothing's going to change. They'll just keep getting away with it because the money is flowing through the tills. People say to me, but Stel, you're part of the problem because you go. Fine, I'll give up my season ticket. What kind of fan do you think is going to take it? A Levy outer? An Enoch outer? No. It'll be someone that buys into this and, follows the rules and says, yay, give it a chance. And then you've lost someone like me that is prepared to protest, that is prepared to chant for change in the club. So,
Oh. We've lost him. We'll try and get him back. Some people in the comments are saying there's more reports about Frank. I'm only seeing reports from the Times at the moment. There's a few like ITKs, but you can't really trust those ITKs, can you? About anything to do with Frank. Let's see. Is there anything else I'm seeing?
Weinstein said anything?
No. It's just really the main one is from the Times saying that Frank's future is in the balance. There's a few people who have tweeted out saying I've heard from a source that Frank is going to go, but they're not. They're just like they're not journalists or anything like that.
Serious question. Do you reckon? Obviously, they have this discussion, but do you reckon some of it could be like what I was saying before? They're lining up a quick replacement because they don't want to sack him and then obviously have Burnley and Dortmund and
United had it interim
and Frankfurt. Yeah, but that's what I mean. They had someone ready. Do you think Spurs already put the whole?
I think they give it to Heitinga, as in the short term.
Yeah, but that I get. But do you reckon they're actually putting feelers out as we speak about who can we potentially bring in before we actually make this? Heitinga's all well and good, but
I don't know whether they are, but they should be.
That's what I'm saying. Could that be the weighing up or whatever it is. They want to make sure they've got the insurance policy ready to go, like when we had a Redknapp, like when we had, not saying a full-time manager, but those quick ones like the Redknapps, like the Mourinhos, that were ready to come in immediately. Could Spurs be? Could they be speaking to Xavi? Could they be speaking to Terzic? Could they be speaking to whoever it may be?
Let's get Stel back on. He's joining us again. You right, Stel?
Yeah.
Go on.
Apologies, guys, because I'm in the car. It's connected to the Bluetooth, so if someone calls me, it disconnects. So I'll be quick because I don't want to be disconnected and mess up the show. But look, Brian, to answer your question, there's no appetite for it.
Yeah.
The majority of the fan base, the online noise is very different to the match day going fan. That's
Correct.
what I've realised, and today confirmed it for me. This is something we've discussed over years. The reality is most fans are prepared to just accept whatever they're given, tolerate it, just say things like give it time, be patient, but it's not on. It's not on anymore. It's gone on for too many years, too many decades, and do you know what, guys? I genuinely just don't know anymore. The fans don't want to force change. The squad's not good enough. The manager's not the right long-term solution. The football directors, God knows where they're at anymore, what they're thinking. They say one thing, we see something different. Lange, he's not good enough. He's not a good enough footballing director. And then you've hired this guy from Man City, who's apparently going to be great for us, but he reports to Lange. How is Lange the senior voice? It beggars belief, man. You know,
because this guy's not meant to be scouting or anything. He's just dealing with the money side. It looks like contracts, negotiations.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, good. Good stuff. Yeah, it's exactly what we need. More bank managers. Excellent. Yeah. Well, hopefully he can improve the profits and the income so that this £150 million war chest in January. So yeah, he can add a bit more on top of that we're not going to spend.
In terms of the short term, Stel, when it comes to Frank and stuff, if he does go, do you think it's an interim? Do you actually think we try and get a long-term replacement during the season?
I don't know, Sim. I don't know. I just don't know. Listen, the reality is it doesn't matter because we haven't got a plan. Until there's a plan, and a plan starts with what do you want? For example, what do you want? I want to win the Premier League. Okay, right. What other teams have won the Premier League in the last 10 years? You look at those clubs, you say, right, how long did it take them to build that? So you say, right, it's going to take us 4 or 5 years. So now we know what we want to do, win the league. We know it's going to take 5 years. Then you say, right, who's the man to build that? Then you identify the manager. And then you say, right, who's going to be the footballing man to bring in the players to support the manager for the way he wants to play and the way that he has proven he can win league titles? Then you bring in the footballing man to build the scouting team. And then you say, right, we know what we want to achieve. We know how long it's going to take. We know the manager that's proven to do it, that's going to come and do it for us. We've now hired the man that's going to recruit the players to support the manager to achieve what we've set out to achieve. And then you communicate with the fans. This is the plan. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to go about it. But there's none of that. There's none of that. You can't tell me that plan exists. And people that say, oh, be patient, give it time. No, I've waited 25 years for ENIC. You know, Leicester City changed their ownership, and in 12 years they won the league and an FA Cup. Their owners achieved more than our owners in half the time. The owners that took over Liverpool have achieved a hell of a lot more in 10 years than what we've achieved in 25. So I don't trust the current owners to make the right decision for the next manager because they're the ones that hired this guy. They're the guys that hired Ange and sacked Ange after he won us our first trophy in 20 years. I don't trust the decision makers, Sim. I don't trust anything. I don't trust the owners, I don't trust the decision makers, I don't trust the recruitment team, I don't trust Frank, I don't trust half this squad, I don't even trust our fans. I don't even know if I trust myself.
Still, I've told you for ages, there's only one man at Tottenham that tells the truth. And that's the guy that reads the team sheet out before the game, because he can't lie. That's the only one. That's the only one you can trust when you read the lineup out. Because everything else that gets said about this football club...
Even he's a presenter for GB News these days.
It's just That's the only person.
Do you know how you know the club's completely finished? When after the game, Ali Gold is tweeting about Macclesfield Town.
Did he? What was he? Just not as in completely separate from Tottenham.
Just.
He's gone again.
No, he's
I'm
there.
back,
You're
I'm
back.
back.
You're back.
Are you back?
Yeah. Listen, guys, I'll leave it there because I don't want to constantly ruin the show with my internet and part-time. But look, for me, guys, that's it. I'm done with Frank. But do I trust the owners to find the solution? No. And do I even think we can beat Burnley away now? Probably not. I don't know who we can beat, guys. I literally don't know who Tottenham Hotspur can beat.
Do you think this season we could go down?
No.
Do you know what, Sim? I said we're not going to go down. There's no chance. If we don't win in the next 3-4 games and West Ham get a couple of wins, we're in trouble.
We're not going down.
February is disgusting.
We've got our next league game is Burnley, and then we've got City, United, Newcastle, Arsenal, Fulham away, Palace, and Liverpool.
Yeah, no, like February would turn it around and have the it'd be the typical Spurs thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, true.
I don't think we'll go down. No. But is that where we're at as a club now? Can we get relegated? Is this the level of ambition? You know, the one game we will win is Man City. The one game that we need to lose to give us any hope of Arsenal winning the league. But you know we're going to beat Man City.
Yeah,
we'll beat them 2-0 or 2-1. We'll turn up against Man City.
Well, it ended goalless.
And then we'll boo at the end. Get him out. How can you win this game?
Oh my God. This club. There's no club like Tottenham. There is no club in the world like Tottenham. None.
Stel, it's good to see you, my friend.
Stel, I need to see you this week, bro.
If I make it past tonight, yeah.
Please try. Please try your best to do that.
Nice one, Stel.
I'll be there. Yeah, for sure. I'll make it.
All right, bro.
Catch you in a bit.
Take care, guys.
See ya.
Any more?
There's Mikey's in the background. Let's get
any more news?
News. I'm checking constantly. I reckon there might I always feel like when one little bit of news, sometimes other journalists follow. They'll trickle. So I wonder if we'll get some tonight, maybe some.
There'll be an avalanche.
It's still fairly early. It's only 8 o'clock, so there could be some more news filtering tonight, I think. So I think keep your eyes peeled, as they say. Let's get Mikey. How you doing,
guys?
Mikey? Hey,
right, Mikey.
How we doing?
I'm doing. That's every week. It's the same thing, really, isn't it? Every week, it's more misery piled upon on those who support Tottenham Hotspur, isn't it? I mean, who would have thought, like 7-8 months ago, winning in Bilbao in the way we did, it was a shit final, let's be honest. But we won the trophy. We had our name engraved on it. And now Manchester United are 4th, taking proactive action amidst a backdrop of toxicity. And here we are, the ever-present basket case of the so-called Big Six. I don't know where we go from here. I'm going to echo everybody else's sentiments, but I just don't know where we go from here.
Where do you think we do go with Frank?
I think his position became untenable quite a few weeks ago. There's been a lot of people on the cesspool that is Twitter saying if Levy was still in the job, he would have been gone weeks ago. I'm not necessarily sure I believe that, but I think by January he would have been gone because Levy had less tolerance for this and the new ownership wants to, I say new, let's just say the revamped ownership. You know, there's a Simpsons gif where Russia turns into the Soviet Union in a United Nations meeting. I feel like that's what the quote unquote new ownership situation was. It's just a rehashing of the old ways, but I think they're trying to be more proactive and more cautious, but I think they finally reached their tether tonight. I think this will be the end for Frank. And I can't say I'm unhappy to see the back of him.
Even though on Friday they reported that West Ham is not a must-win game, and they said
apparently Matt Law's just posted about about Frank.
Oh,
go on then.
That's from Will THFC.
Will THFC?
No, he's saying that Matt Law's just tweeted something or said something.
haven't seen anything. He's the Telegraph, isn't he?
I'll let this little Twitter interact. I'll let this
Breaking
posting
news.
interaction play.
We should have the
It says
ticker.
Thomas Frank in crisis mode. That was his title of his article.
Ah, okay. Was it?
He probably saw the words Thomas Frank in crisis and thought,
But I haven't seen. I have to read the article. Anyway, go on, Mikey. What were you saying?
No, it's all good. I was just going to say that I was sitting here listening to Stell, and I can't disagree with what he said. I was planning on going to the protest today. If I was never buying a ticket for this game because I don't go to Premier League games. I go to Cup and Champions League games at this point. But I was planning on, well, Derby aside, because I'm going to my first Derby this year. But, you know, I was never at the game and I was planning on attending the protest anyway. And then I had some news in my family. I had to go and see my dad instead. Nothing too tragic. Just I had to go see my dad today. So I ended up not going. But I would have been at that protest even without a ticket. Without unforeseen familial circumstances. And I sympathize with Stell because on the one hand, yeah, the one way to stabilize the club is to try and get this toxicity out from the ownership. And how do you do that? You starve them of their revenue source. But to starve them of their revenue source is to starve a lot of people of their weekly enjoyment. Well, not enjoyment, because watching Spurs is like watching paint dry, and I'd pick the paint every day of the week at the moment. But it's also, it deprives them of their one weekly thing that they might go out and do, especially if you're a senior fan. So it can be hard to galvanize a fan base to take such drastic action when, 6-7 years ago, half the fans couldn't even be at the stadium. With the capacity reduction that White Hart Lane had. So I understand kind of how hard it is to get proactive action on this, but I really wish there was more we could do.
Yeah. It's tough at the moment because a lot of fans want to give the rebrand another go or whatever, all this kind of stuff. And for me, the rebrand should be irrelevant to people's feelings on the board because it's still ENIC, and rebrand is just a whole PR. That's all it is. It's nothing to do with major changes. And I understand major changes do take enough time to implement, but at the end of the day, they need to start showing evidence of change before people get on board. And I think at the moment we're as messy as we've ever been, and that's the problem. But what do we do in the short term, Mikey? Is it an interim the answer?
I mean, the timing of Heitinger being appointed like this, that in itself signifies something. I think he will take charge. If Frank was to go, I think he'll take charge against Dortmund, a game that I am unfortunately going to. And after that, I really don't know, because the caliber of manager we want to attract versus the caliber of manager we will attract. I mean, look at the summer. We appointed Thomas Frank after winning a trophy. If that doesn't signify something, I don't know what does. We're looking for, in essence, a manager who can come in, put out multiple fires, galvanise the squad, play attack. I don't think there's a manager in world football who can cover everything we need a manager to do.
Mikey, let me add to that as well. At what point do managers say, when Tottenham come about, do you know what? I know how this ends. You either have the managers that think, okay, I come here for a payday because I know I'll get sacked and I'll get paid out on my contract like everyone else does. Or they go, do you know what? I don't need the hassle of coming to Tottenham. Because every manager can come in and say, do you know what? I'm the one that can turn this around. But we're turning into Watford. We are turning into Watford. If you look, even just at this home, just at the new stadium, Poch led us in. Jose Mourinho, Nuno, Conte, Stellini, Mason. And Frank. And we actually had Mason twice when Mourinho was gone. So that's 9 managers in the time we've just been at the home stadium. That's just 9.
That's 6.5 years. 9 managers.
That's at what point does the manager say, do you know what? We talk about reading the data of players and data. At what point does the manager go, I know what's going to happen here. I ain't gonna get
At one
back.
point, they go, "Fuck your data. I'm not gonna enhance my career here because football,
Bingo.
Football's meritocratic. Those who are the best rise to the top most of the time, unless your name is Thomas Frank. No, but the best two are the best rise to the top. Who's gonna look at Spurs right now and think that's a great career enhancer for me? Like, people take it. Let's take Xabi Alonso. Let's take Xavi Hernandez. Now, Xavi Hernandez is a bit of an isolated case because he worked in Qatar, he worked at Barca, but he hasn't worked outside of an environment he's never played in, so you can't fairly judge him. Someone like Xabi Alonso, who half the fan base are calling for, would I love him? Absolutely. I would take him. He's an amazing manager. But is he going to look at us and think, I want to go there? With Arne Slot's job also potentially being a little bit, a little bit tenuous, does he look at Spurs and think that's a great environment for me to? No, it's a graveyard. It's a burial ground for managers. We've got a funeral home under the next to that karting track. We have a funeral home. It's a. I'm not gonna say it's a joke. It's an unfathomable situation we find ourselves in, given the fact that 5 or 6 years ago, we made a Champions League final with the best stadium in world football, now since overtaken, but we still have one of the best football stadiums in the world. We have some of the highest revenues, but those are all assets. Football is a game of vibes. First and foremostly, it's a game of vibes. I know that sounds really, Gen Z to say, but it is. It's a game of if the feeling is good, there is, mentality, and people say, I think this is kind of a good point, is that people expect, 60,000 people booing you, you're human. It's going to affect you. Footballers aren't robots. It will affect you. In the same way that football, the fans watching 11 players play like the way they did, it will affect and it will change the outcome of 60,000, potentially hundreds of millions of Spurs fans around the world. It will change the outcome of their week. Football is a game of vibes, and 99% of people involved in the football world go off vibes first. And the vibes have never been worse. The feeling around Tottenham has never been worse. V and I spoke about the disconnect between the fans and the club. Strip away the manager, strip away the players. The club and its fans are the two most important entities. There is no connection. It's like they're two separate entities. At this point, it may as well be a stadium that happens to have a club playing in it.
Stadium FC.
Stadium FC. We have been for a number of years. And who was it that said, I think I tried to find statistics and I couldn't, but there was a thing a few months ago that of the 300 matches we'd played in the new stadium, we'd won only 150 of them. Or there was some statistic
As
like
many
that.
as that?
That surprised me as well. But it was, I might be, that's me going off memory. I could be wrong, and I probably am with that. But it was something like we've won like half the game.
Many.
Sounds way too many.
And
Is that in all? Sorry, Mike. Is that in all competitions?
That'll be in all competitions. Yeah, every game we've played.
Okay.
Not in the Prem. No, in the Prem we've been,
shocking.
We haven't finished higher than fourth in the last 6 years. In the last 6-7 years.
Half a season with Conte we were decent. The rest has been atrocious at home.
Well, even then, a manager like Antonio Conte, but I think it's soured. I don't know. Yes, it is on the ownership. We're not being paid. We can sit here and complain all we want. We're not being paid to make the decisions. And I'm sure if a couple of the Spurs fans were being the ones making the decision, would do better than the current ownership regime. That's enough to be said. And you mentioned Watford. I'd rather have the Pozzos at the moment than the way we're going, but I don't know. All right, maybe that's a bit of hyperbole. That's definitely wrong. But still, I'm so disconnected. I feel nothing. I'm going to watch Tottenham play Borussia Dortmund, a fixture that we've bossed in recent years that got us on our way, with Super Jan's goal, which volley took the net off, and Sonny and Kane scoring from outside from all that way out, driving through the, it's a fixture with a rich history and a proud history of recent, especially for us. We're going to get battered. I think we're going to get battered.
I think the bigger question, Mike, is Frank in charge for that game, and I don't think he is.
No, not with the way it goes. But then the problem is, again, we spoke about the strategy of sacking him at the end of the window. I can't remember. I think it was David who mentioned sacking him at the end of the window. That would be a very Enoch thing to do, but you sack him now, it creates even more uncertainty because your transfer strategy, if there even was any, because apparently it seems very scattergun, it goes out the window. And a window that you've planned for 4 months since Paratici's reinstatement, since Levy's departure, it goes out the window in an instant, and you don't know what kind of players you have to buy, despite the squad needing the most refreshing it's needed in years.
Mikey, I will say with that, in January, we've never had a plan. We've heard the words, we've got a plan, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to attack it, this is we're ready to go. We've had the meetings, and then when the actual push comes to the shove...
I know I've taken quite a long time here, but I want to ask you, what's our most recent successful January transfer? Off the top of my head, mine's Lucas Moura in 2018.
Kulu
I can't think of a single one.
Yeah, Kulusevski, Bentancur.
Kulusevski, again, I think Bentancur, I think, has been more of a miss than a hit, and Kulusevski's had such bad injury problems. He's been good when he's played, but he doesn't play enough. I think overall success is still Lucas Moura for me.
Well,
Kulusevski as well.
You look at it, Mikey. When you look at Kulusevski and Bentancur, the reason I say that is the impact they had under Conte. We were chasing the Champions League when Kulusevski came in that season. No one could handle him. And Bentancur, that spell from that January, we were superb.
When he wasn't scared to pass the ball forward, he was a different beast.
Yeah,
but. Now we have current Bentancur. Anyway, the point is that you can name 3 signings in 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's Tottenham for you.
Even in the summer, Van de Ven, Romero, has Pedro Porro been a success of a January signing?
Yeah, I think he's a good player.
Good player, but he has his moments, doesn't he? I mean, he saved us with a goal. He's had a goal-saving block, and we still ended up losing the game.
Mikey, I think what you've got to add with that with Porro is if you go look up since he's been here, the amount of minutes he's played.
That's true. He's overworked to death.
He is beyond. And I would imagine if you looked at not just Tottenham, if you viewed minutes in the entire Premier League since he's been here, he'll be right up there.
Unfair on. I'll give Porro a pass. I am a little bit unfair on Porro, but I again, the thing is that 3.5, 4 again in 8 years. Tottenham's transfer approach has never been the smartest.
Correct.
And I don't know. We don't have a Harry Kane or a Heung-min Son size gorilla tape to paper over the cracks anymore. We're seeing Tottenham's decline. I don't know, the epitome, the culmination of it. After years of mismanagement, of this, that, and the other, so many things that everybody else has said and will continue to say. I'm not saying it's a sign, but I brought in Xabi Alonso on FIFA Karima, then I won the treble in my first season. So maybe that's the answer to everything.
That sounds like as good as anything we have to go on, Mikey. But it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you, mate.
See you later, Mikey.
You too.
Appreciate you coming on. Chat to you soon. Let's bring David on. Thank you, David, for waiting. Appreciate
a long time I've been informed. Hey, David.
Hey, boys. Yeah, and it's what time is it here? It's 7 a.m. The game. I'm in Sydney, so the game started at 2, I think it was.
Go get some sleep, David. Why you want to talk
about
this? Why you want to talk about this and not sleep, man? I want to sleep.
I want to talk to you. Actually, before we start, I want to just mention again to you guys and the whole channel. I really enjoy watching your streams every day and the effort you guys put in. So, for the international people in particular, we really appreciate the work you guys do. And so thank you and congratulations to everybody who's involved.
Thank you. Appreciate you, David. Big up to you. There's been a lot said in the stream and since the games happened. What's your feelings at the moment?
Well, frankly, I don't think this game, apart from hopefully getting Thomas Frank sacked, there's not much to talk about really. I don't think it's the bigger picture is the strategy of the club rather than this particular individual game. So I kind of wanted to focus on that more than this game because I don't think this game really matters apart from.
Did you go into today thinking we could lose?
Actually, funnily enough, yeah, I did. I was not surprised at all. In fact, I was surprised that we were playing well in the second half. Because I just haven't seen us play well, apart from about 15 minutes every second game, for an extended period now. The reality is West Ham has been terrible this year, and Bowen did nothing this game.
No.
In fact, credit to Spence. I thought Spence controlled Bowen pretty well because Bowen didn't contribute, and we still lost to West Ham. So, what did that tell you?
Absolutely, yeah, you're right. But talk to me about then on the macro level. What do you reckon is the key issue here at the club?
I think anyone who is involved in the 100 or 1,000 or 2,000 point plan choosing Thomas Frank has to go, because it's not. Thomas Frank is. Yeah, I mean, I never wanted Thomas Frank, so I'm, I guess, slightly biased. But the reason I never wanted Thomas Frank was he'd never won anything, and I didn't see an offensive manager. And you've got to have an identity. And I looked at Thomas Frank, I thought, he's not right for Tottenham. He's a perfectly good manager for certain teams, but not for Tottenham. I mean, it's in your motto. To dare is to do. Well, that's not Thomas Frank. And Levy used to talk about, we got our club back. Well, Levy, you employed Conte. You employed all these other guys who were also defensive. You can't now take the credit for employing a forward-thinking manager and not take responsibility for employing the backward-thinking managers. So, and I think we've made the same mistake. So we need to start at, what are we trying to achieve? And I think there's an ambition issue, and Josh will probably talk about this in terms of culture, but I think we've forgotten we're a top 6 club. And nothing we're doing right now smacks of being a top 6 club. We've had Modric, we've had Dele Alli, we've had, apart from the guys who came through the academy, we've had some top players come to this team, Gareth Bale. We've forgotten all of that. So you've got to go back to, okay, what are we trying to achieve? We're trying to be a top 6 team, because we are. We've just forgotten at the moment. How do you do that? Well, part of that is identity, and identity for Tottenham is forward-thinking, offensive team. So if that's your starting point, every single manager you have to appoint has to have that philosophy, and there's no point in appointing any other type of style of manager. Now, I don't know who the next manager should be, but the starting point has to be, they've got to be an offensive thinking manager.
David, I applaud everything you've just said. You are so spot on in everything you said. When it comes to the motto and daring to do that means as well backing managers, whether they've been the right one. Everything you have said, I know you and me have had our discussions when we've been on, and do you know what? I respect people like yourself for coming on and saying as it is, rather than obviously just stay back. But everything you have just said, I couldn't agree more or put it better myself. You are bang on the money, my friend.
Yeah, and credit to you, Brian, for a lot of people say don't change your mind, stake your position, and then you don't change your mind. Well, that's not the right way. I mean, good people get new data and they go, well, I'm smart enough and believe in myself enough to go, okay, I've got new data now. I'm going to change my position. If you're stubborn, that doesn't make any sense. So credit to you for coming out and saying, I wanted Frank and I've got it wrong on this occasion, and we all I'm wrong many times a day, so it's all good, man.
But what do we do, David? Is it do we put an interim in? Do we just put someone who's going to tell the players? Do we put Harry Redknapp who's just going to tell the players, go and run about around a bit, go fly forward and just play your game? Do we think about a long-term solution in the short term, or do we delay that to the summer?
Well, I think there's a couple of things here. I think firstly, Vinay has to go. I think Vinay was involved in the decision, and as far as I understand it, Vinay was kind of pushed on. He kind of pushed Thomas Frank a bit, and people told him he's not the right manager in terms of style for Tottenham. And he said, "Well, I'm going to overrule you." So if that's true, and he's also an Arsenal guy, I think he's Kim Philby. I think he works for bloody Arsenal.
Oh God! Don't even try. He's got phrase. Apparently he slipped Frank the Arsenal Cup. That's what I'm hearing.
Exactly. So I think he's got to take responsibility, and I think he has to go. Personally, I'm glad Paratici's gone. All he did previously was
he wanted Frank gone though.
Yeah, which is interesting. But in terms of him being this super transfer guy, as far as I can tell, the only good players ever brought were from Juventus. So I mean, we can send a scout out to Juventus and save ourselves a bunch of money. And there was all that dodgy stuff that he was doing in Italy as well. So, and I think he was involved. He didn't want. I think there was a rumor. I don't know how true it was. There was a rumor that he kind of didn't want to come back if Ange was going to be here. So he may have been involved in Ange's sacking as well. So personally, I'm happy for Paratici to have gone. I think Vino should go. A lot of people think Lange should go. I don't know enough about Lange to know that. So I'll go by whatever you guys say on that one. So. And that means the executive team's gone, which means you can start again. So that's not a bad thing. I think all those need to go because they're involved in different ways in this disaster. In terms of the manager, I think again this comes back to ambition. I would take Alonso if you can get Xavier Alonso. And mind you, people say, "Oh, there's no way we're getting him." But we've had Conte, we've had Mourinho, we've had top managers before. We've forgotten about ambition and who we are as a club, and also. Top managers like a challenge. This idea that, it's a disaster, therefore no top manager wants to come. Well, top managers go, I can fix this. That's why I'm a top manager. That's why I'm Mourinho. That's why I'm Conte. Remember my name. So I don't think necessarily the fact that we're a disaster will necessarily stop top managers. So for me, if we can get Alonso, if he goes, yeah, I'll do it, get him. If we can't get a top manager, if we can just get a Thomas Frank or a Amrin or a good manager, but somebody I don't go, wow, that's amazing, then I would get an interim until summer when we got a lot more choices. And again, if we're going to get an interim, let's get an interim who thinks offensive football so that the players are already getting trained to play ready for the next manager in the style, more similar to the style that the next manager is likely to play.
Absolutely, yeah, but when it comes to the January transfer window, we're all in agreement. I think we need, some serious investment. What's the best way to go about it when you've got a manager in charge who none of the fans believe in? Apparently, there's a split in the boardroom about the manager. If you're a prospective player, do you think we have more chance of attracting better players with Frank here or Frank gone?
100% gone.
Even if it's an interim.
Even with an interim, because we've effectively said, at the very least, we're not going to be playing what you've been seeing up until now. And if we can get a defensive style thing and say, you know what, we made a mistake, we're now going back to dare is to do. If you come and join us, then that's going to be our philosophy going forward. I think that helps. I don't think it's enough at the moment. Frankly, you either save the money, spend it in summer when you got a permanent coach, or if you can get a permanent coach in the next week, if you can get Alonso in, you're going to attract players. Anybody else, anybody kind of not at that level, if you can convince somebody to come, great. Otherwise, save the money and do it in winter.
All right, David, appreciate you calling, man. I appreciate you waiting so long. Yep. It's always nice to chat to you. And we'll speak to you soon.
You too, boys.
Go get some
sleep. Go get good sleep, David.
Yeah, thanks. And hopefully we'll have a new manager for Dortmund and we can actually win and play some football that I can be bothered watching.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so.
See you, gents.
See you later, buddy.
And last but not least, one of our favourite callers. Let's get Josh on.
Hey, Josh.
Appreciate you waiting so long and appreciate you calling in and giving up your time.
My pleasure, guys. It was you had some great guests on tonight.
What time is it where you are? Where are you? You're also in Australia.
No, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, so it's 20 past 3 in the afternoon.
Okay, that's not too bad.
You're Eastern time.
Not too bad. You don't need to sleep. We're not worried about your sleep. Okay. Look, you've been kind of, over the last few weeks, giving your concerns. A lot of fans now saying enough's enough. Time for change. Are you of that thinking?
Yeah, look, I've been of that sort of thinking for a little while now. I remember when we were like third or fourth in the league. This is, early days, and much like Stell, I got a lot of flack, for not being as upbeat for where we were and there were some of the results that we were getting. And when I looked at the fixtures, both home and away, and who we were playing, I just was not 100% sure. The only thing that threw me out a little bit was the 2-0 away win to City, which, again, when you look at recent history, it's not that big a deal. But, there was a period of time where our form, because of who we were actually playing, started to expose itself, and I could just see us dropping like a rock. I didn't think other teams would be as high up the ladder as what they are. But I think it was for me. It was fully exposed today, man. I got to tell you, like something died in me today, I'm when when you have sort of success, and I don't want to sound like a dick here, but you can't afford to be emotional. Like when you're getting results at the pointy end of sport, the facts are the facts, and you've just got to deal with them. And if you need to change things, you need to change things quickly until you get some semblance of success, and then you get confidence out of that, and then you're on a different sort of path. So I liken it to back in Australia, rugby league. The biggest match of the year is the state of origin, which is Queensland versus New South Wales, and it was up until about 10 years ago, it was very even. And then about 5 or 6 years in a row, Queensland, and I was a New South Welshman, Queensland won. And I just fell out of love for the sport. Like I just literally just stepped back and said, I'm not being a battering ram anymore. And I'm not just going to allow my emotions to get, triggered by my team, watching my team at the start of a match, hopefully win, and then, the inevitable loss. And I actually picked us to beat West Ham 2-0 today. And within 10 minutes, I was thinking that if we don't go, I was thinking the only way we win is if we go 1-0 down. And, when you think about that psychologically, when you're trying to win a match, do you know what I mean? Like that's just not even remotely acceptable, for me as a supporter, but for the club at a performance level, that they have to go down 1-0 to West Ham away to see anything that would resemble the type of performance that could actually win the match. That's where we're at.
Yep. What do you think of some of the rhetoric from Frank after games today? He says, first of all, he said turning Tottenham around is a bit like turning around an oil tanker. He said that's it's a slow process. He also was talking about how if you look at the Bournemouth game, the Villa game, and today, we were the ones closest to winning, and there's positives you can take from that. And as long as they're trying hard and we're the ones near closer to winning than the opposition, then he said we are closer to turning things around than not. He said, what do you think about him saying these things?
So the things that I pinpointed where. And look, full disclosure, I don't think they should have sacked Ange, not because of results, but I think, when you look at the history of what he's done, taking clubs from mediocrity to winning their league, whether it be in Australia, whether it be, the Australian team qualifying for the World Cup, winning the Asian Champions League, what he did in Japan, then what he did in Celtic. There's a history there of. Forget about Mickey Mouse League, the A League in Australia, and then Japan. Okay, it's probably a better league than Australia, but still, nothing's the Premier League. It's that sort of character that comes in because, and here's the frustrating thing for Spurs: we want a ready-made manager who can come in and get success straight away. But I agree with what Frank said about trying to turn an oil tanker. The headwinds that you face in the manager from the incompetence at a high performance level to actually get momentum, because momentum on the pitch it's a function of a lot of successful things that we don't see, right? Or that we don't, what are we privy to? We're privy to the performance on the pitch. We're privy to some presses, some comments here and there, but we don't see what goes on behind closed doors. But what is out on the pitch at the moment, there's massive rumblings internally that the club has no idea how to change the end product, which is what we see, every weekend. So I agree with what he said. And again, when it comes back to, and I think Ange is gone. People say, would you want him back? Not in a million years. That ship has sailed, and people with a winning attitude, they're always looking forward at what you can create, not back. And it's the same for Poch. I don't think anyone historically should come back. We need to look forward as a club, because if by looking forward, we're going into uncharted territory. When you go into uncharted territory, you find things out about yourself that you need to A, identify, and B, change. Right? And okay, so Ange did it, the type of character, the type of person, Ange did it with South Melbourne, low level, Mickey Mouse League, right? But he still was able to change a team and an organisation into a winning team. Same with Yokohama FC, same with the Australians, with the Socceroos, same with Celtic. And he did it to a degree, right? So people can say, oh, yeah, but, the Premier League found him out. It doesn't matter. You're looking for a human being with certain characteristics, and some of that is F you, what everyone else thinks. Do you know what I mean? Like all winners annoy people. I don't know whether you guys are much across college football. I mean, I'm in Atlanta. You can't avoid it. And Nick Saban, who was, the godfather of Alabama football, he talks about mediocre people cannot stand winners, and winners cannot stand mediocre people. Right? They're never a match. It is so difficult to turn a mediocre person into a winner. And if a winner feels like they're going to be turned into a mediocre person, they're out. They're done. Right? And that's the challenge that Spurs have. There is this impotency, this mediocrity within the organisation, holistically, right? That whoever comes in, I can't see them changing anything. And it's funny. Like I saw the post that Tottenham Hotspur put out about this Carlos Rafael Millicent from CFG, and when I read it, and I actually posted, I don't think I've ever posted anything on Twitter, but I highlighted the high performance phrase, right? Director of football operations coming in to build a high performance structure within the program. And I go, oh, that's the first thing that I've got excited about since probably we were, 8 wins from 10 games in Ange's first season. And then I find out that he's reporting to Lange. I'm just like, I look at, and my point was, if the rhetoric is rhetoric that is non-Tottenham rhetoric, right? High performance, build a structure, blah, 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 right? Great. Sounds wonderful. But then the caveat to that was he needs the authority and the independence to then go about what he does, knowing that he's going to be facing headwinds every single day. And the other thing about Spurs, and I did some sort of digging into their board, they've got 5 board members, and one of those is a non-executive, right? So they've essentially got 4 decision makers. That is centralized power. Do you think if there's 4 people and do you want to be the odd one out all the time when it's 3 against 1, 3 against 1, 3 against 1? Most boards are 8 to 10, sometimes 12, right? So there is a diversity of ideas. There is certainly balance in your decision making, right? There's an opportunity for negotiation across the board for people to put forward their thought process and gain a vote on a certain direction. When you got 4, right, it's just the status quo all the time. There's no way, and there'd be one person and the other 3 are like that one person's lackeys.
Well, that was leading right now. There's apparently a split in the boardroom in terms of what to do with Frank, or reportedly before today anyway, there was a split. And so, is that also not helpful in the situation where you don't have certainty? Half the people think he should stay, and so that he's still here, even though he doesn't have, and they're given the impression that he has their full backing. But all of us, but he actually doesn't, because there is a split. There is some people think he should stay, and some people think he should go. And at least before we had Levy, where we knew the buck stopped with him. He made the decisions, and whether good or bad, it was like, okay, Levy's going to make that decision. But right now, it's like, who is making the decision? That's a big problem, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, when you've only essentially got 4 decision makers, okay, there's a split in the board. Well, the only possible way that's a good thing is if it's a 2-2 split. And what are the chances of it being a 2-2 split? Pretty slim, right? So, yeah, I just I think when as far as the board coming out and showing support, for Frank, for Thomas, I don't know how he survives now. Not because of, okay, so if we believe what's being put out there that, there is this split. And I mean, look at the run of fixtures that he's got coming up. There's no way there's a net positive in the next 4 to 6 games, right? So I think what'll happen is they'll do the exact same thing that they did with Ange, is that they'll tease it out and tease it out and tease it out, and they'll make a non-decisive decision, right? And that's I've said this before. The sack Ange, don't sack Ange. I don't really care. Just don't wait so long to do it. Like be men. Do you know what I mean? Be men. You're running an operation, a multi-billion-dollar operation where you've got tens of thousands of people every single week that stump up their dollars, pay for their merch, pay whatever they pay for concessions, food and drink and whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, just be men about your decisions.
He's spot on. Josh is absolutely spot on with this call.
And I want to ask you a question that I asked David as well. Obviously we're looking to sign players this window. Now we're obviously a massive mess as a football club right now when it comes to the hierarchy. Everyone wants a manager out. If you're a player and you're approached by Tottenham, do you think we've got more chance of signing a player we want with Frank here or with Frank gone, or an interim in charge?
Mate, that's such a good question because I really don't think it matters. The evolution of my, I'm a Tottenham supporter. The manager is Frank, even though I was for Ange and whatever. I'm in with Frank, right? And so I've gone from that point to I'm not sure to it doesn't matter because the manager's not the problem, right? And I'm now out in. I'm like Danny. I'm like it doesn't really matter because the inner operation of the club is not conducive to any manager. And I say any manager. It doesn't matter who they are. I just don't. I don't think. I mean, it makes me feel sick in the stomach to think how many years we could have of this scenario. And I said to Stell on Stell's show a couple of weeks ago. He said, "What's the solution?" And I said, "We need to get relegated."
And
that makes me. I want to spew up in my own mouth, even saying that.
And we might well do right now with as you say, the form we've got coming up, the games we've got, the form we're in. West Ham, they've just got a major boost today with the win. Who knows if that'll be could they have an upturn in form? We're not going to be winning too many games over the next, couple of months, are we? So it's a scary situation this season. But I mean, a big problem a lot of people have is the players. People say the playing staff isn't good enough. That's what Frank has to deal with. Like, how are we going to attract players right now? Do you reckon it's just an impossible task attracting players?
Well, I mean, again, like winning attitude or winners speak and non-winners speak. Like I stopped calling Frank a loser because I just think it's nasty. It's too easy to be nasty and rude. So I call him a non-winner now. It's a little bit more polite and I'm sure he's a lovely guy and I'm sure he's a great. I don't know whether he's got kids, but I'm sure he's a great dad or great grandfather, like all that sort of stuff, right? My issue is again coming back to how does a winner view Spurs? Like, how does someone, whether they're a coach, whether they're a player, how do they view Spurs as an organisation? And that's why, for a period of time, I was Frank Stay, even though I didn't think he was the right guy, because that the unsettling of manager in, manager out, and all that sort of stuff. It's just what it puts forward to a winner is not attractive, right? And it's interesting. Conor Gallagher, watching him today, he's the same player today, and fair enough, give him some time, but he's the same player that Chelsea let go. I didn't see anything as to why Chelsea would have kept him, right? So again, we've probably paid overs for a player who's going to give us what? That's the cycle that we're in now, and that's why I've been saying this for probably the last month. Well, let's talk about Van der Ven. If we didn't have Van der Ven, we'd probably be in relegation right now. Right? The number of last-second tackles that he's made in games that were either we won by a goal or we drew that we probably should have lost, that's easily enough points for us to be right down near Forest. Okay? So you want to make us. How does Spurs change things around? They're not going to change things around on the pitch like that, but they can make decisions for the future that are bold, that are courageous and that can get the people like Stell, right? And I completely agree with everything that he said. I understand the emotion behind what he said. He's that far from cutting the umbilical cord to Spurs, right? Now, I'm not saying he's going to walk away from the club because his heart's in it, but he's like I was with the State of Origin. He's like, mate, I'm that far from done. I would give Van der Ven the armband. Now, is he ready for the captainship? I don't think he is, right? But he's the sort of character that pretty quickly, I think you would see him rise to what is required. He's more consistent than Romero.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have to sell Romero while he's got some value, then do it, right? But you would only sell Romero if your attitude towards high performance and getting the right players in is on point. Otherwise, you're just going to throw the money away, right? So I would make
worse.
You've got to do something bold. Do you know what I mean? Like the club is so impotent. It is so deficient in just success and again, going back to showing some spine and you imagine if the club did that, the right people would go, well, they must be serious. Like Romero, you're going to dump Romero? Now Romero would be pissed, like no question. Okay, so fine, sell him, right? So, I mean, something like that would be the sort of direction that like Stell said, if you map, and some of the other guests said, and I think David beforehand, like you've got to pull people's heads out of now, right? Now is miserable. Right? Now is desperate times. If you can pull people's attention and their emotions out into the future by hey, this is what we're going to do. This is our new process. We've got this guy Carlos in. This is what he's been employed to do. We're going to start to build this structure. Step one of that structure is getting our best and our most consistent player in the armband, and we're going to build a team around Van der Ven. Right? People are going to go, that doesn't sound like the Tottenham I know. Now, whether it's successful or not is irrelevant. We've got to pull the fan base and pull our heads and our hearts out of now, because now sucks.
We have to start looking to the future.
Have to. You do something like that, and I guarantee you that there'll be players that go, that's an interesting proposition. The right sort of players, you know.
Absolutely. Look, Josh, appreciate you calling. No, I think a lot of people agree that Van der Ven should get the captaincy and that Romero doesn't deserve it.
Can I just say,
yeah.
When I say that, the most likely outcome is that I'm wrong. Right? That's the most likely outcome, right? But winners are prepared to be wrong, right? That's how they, I mean, what is that? Can't remember he's an American guy. Like he's the father of leadership. You want to be more successful, double your rate of failure. That's just a saying in that probably corporate successful world. But
yeah.
Anyway, boys, you enjoy an earlier night than normal.
Have a good evening.
Thanks for having me
morning,
on.
Josh.
Appreciate it. Always
take care, buddy.
Your calls, mate. Appreciate you coming on.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Always got time for Josh.
Love listening to him.
Oh, well, that was a long fan show. Still 1,000 people in the chat. Big up to everyone who stayed all the way through. Or even the ones who didn't. Even the ones who dropped off. Big up to you guys if you're still watching. Or joined halfway through. Or whatever.
Or whenever you joined. Whenever you joined.
One little thing here. Matt Law did tweet. Thomas Frank fighting to save his Tottenham job after his own fans saying you're getting sacked in the morning during West Ham embarrassment.
Yeah, it's done.
So there are things coming out. There are things coming out.
Yeah, like I said, I think tomorrow you're in for a bumper day. A bumper day.
You heard it here first. Tune in tomorrow and we'll see what happens, what news is breaking. I'm sure whatever happens, there'll definitely be news about Frank and whether he's staying or going, whatever. The updates you'll hear right here in the studio.
Yep.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Wish on better days, but we'll see you guys soon. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.